of my existence, honestly. What's up, guys? Luca here with another episode of my show. Some of you may be wondering, where have I been? Listen, I've been here. I have been here. In I don't want to use the word enjoying. I don't want to use the word not enjoying. Like I've just been here living my best life, uh, living my best unemployed life. You know what I'm saying? Looking for a job, trying to get my life together, watching everybody pass me by. But you know, but you know what? That's okay. You know what I'm saying, Singer? It's okay. I'm used to this kind of pain in my heart. Yeah, what's up? What's up? How you doing, buddy?
I am doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm doing pretty good. Just living my life. You know what I'm saying? Um, little sick Mo said that he would be here, but he's sick, so there's that. So we'll see if he actually shows up. If he doesn't, no worries. But what's up? What's up, Spider Man, Arcade, John, Gregor, Spencer, Boro? What's goody, my boys? Yeah, it's been a very interesting couple of weeks. Let me tell you something. I definitely want to touch on the Phil Spencer interview further. Like I know I did a video before I skedaddled because I went to Boston for the weekend. But I definitely want to touch on it some more and talk about the aftermath and how everyone has been dealing with the interview. And I also want to talk about these Zelda reviews because, of course, Zelda came out and it is a banger of a game according to pretty much everyone on my timeline, which I think is awesome. I love when games are good, so that's great. Um, but it has brought up some questions. It's brought up some questions, it's brought up some comments, and it's brought up some goddamn concerns. And you know what? You know what I'm saying? I feel like some of these questions, comments, and concerns are very valid, and I think we should have a conversation about them. I will, happily acknowledge and admit. No, you know what? Actually, I won't because I played Redfall on the Xbox Series X at 30 FPS. Were my eyes burning? Yes. Were they bleeding? Yes. But I was able to deal with it. I was like, whatever. I got through it. I managed it and I kept it fucking moving. You know what I'm saying? Like I could have played it on PC, but they were asking me to install 100 GB, and I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that. Not for this game. So I just like, all right, I'll just get it in the box, and I did. I played it and I dealt with it, right? So that being said, we are going to talk about the reviews for Zelda, and then we're going to discuss how some people are upset about the reviews. And I think that the criticism they have is fair to a certain extent. To a certain extent. Anyway, did I beat who? I ain't beat no goddamn Redfall. Excuse me. Okay. Anyway, let's see here. What's up, Max? What's up, Dauntless? Well, what's good? Yeah, Leaky, Arcade, Dread, Vil. What's up, my boy? Dwayne. Uh, what's up, guys? Yeah. I played Redfall for about 2 hours, so I actually did that. But beating it, absolutely not. I don't play. Listen, I'm like my mom has this bad habit where if she starts something, she needs to finish it. That ain't me. All right, that ain't me. My time is too goddamn precious for me to spend it and waste it on nonsense I don't enjoy. So I played some of it and I was like, oh, not for me. I went in depth about why it's not for me and another video if you guys want to check that out later. But basically, it's not my cup of tea, mate. You know what I'm saying? Do they say that over where you're at, Singer? Not my cup of tea. Is that a thing? Do you guys drink tea?
That is a thing.
Yeah.
Yes, not my cup of tea. Yes.
It is not my fucking cup of tea, mate. But I like with every single piece of media, there's always going to be people who enjoy it, and there were definitely people who enjoyed it. Now, did they enjoy it because they genuinely enjoyed it, or did they enjoy it because they're Xbox cucks? I don't know. I don't know. Is it fair for me to automatically assume somebody is an ex cuck? I'm sorry, that's so rude. Is it fair for me to automatically assume that someone has a major bias and preference towards Xbox just because they enjoyed this particular game. I don't think that's fair to me for me to assume it is at all. I think there are some people who do genuinely enjoy the game, and I commend them for that. And I'm never gonna bash anyone for actually enjoying a game. I know I just did. I'm just being a bitch. Okay, I didn't mean it. I'm just being a jerk. All right, you guys go ahead, call me out for it. I'm just being a jerk. I do think that there are definitely some people who do genuinely enjoy the game, but you know what? At the same goddamn time, I know that there are some people who were definitely just playing it because they're like, Xbox can do no wrong. Therefore, I'm going to play and beat this game. And yeah, and that's the end of it. Ha! People are like, hey, I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't do it, man. Me personally, but there's definitely like these people who are, who will definitely fucking lie to you, but there are definitely some people who enjoyed the game. Now, can you tell the difference between someone who genuinely enjoys a game versus someone who is just lying because they can't oh, I was about to say something crazy, because they can't close their eyes to the bias, or let go of that bias that they have towards Xbox? Yeah, I think there is. I think it's like a history thing. You can see some of their past tweets and some of the past things they've said in the past, and if there's like a history, a pattern of behavior, so to speak, then I think some of us can, you can easily qualify who's a bot, who's a pony, who's a Nintendo guy, so that kind of thing, right? Um, anyway, listen. So let's talk about Tears of the Kingdom, right? So Zelda, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is currently sitting at a 96 on Metacritic with 87 critic reviews. It's sitting exactly where I expected it to sit. It's fucking Zelda. It's fucking Nintendo. I think that everyone expected this game to do amazingly well. There was a bunch of people posting videos at their local GameStops, and there was like lines out the door and such, and I'm just like, yeah, people love this shit. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is at a 97 at 109 critic reviews and 8.7 generally favorable with 20,000 ratings, while Tears of the Kingdom has 8.0 for user score and 263 ratings. So again, not really surprising, makes perfect fucking sense to me. It's goddamn Zelda, dude. Like I don't get it, but you know what? I don't need to get it. This game's not for fucking me, all right? And sometimes a game not being for you is perfectly okay. And sometimes a game being for somebody like my boy Bam Bam is great. You know what I'm saying? Would I go at my boy Bam Bam? Absolutely. But that's just because he's my boy. You know what I'm saying? So the game's at a 97 now, and it's brought up some conversations and some critiques about some folks. They're a little bit curious. They're a little bit like, hey, so the same people who were criticizing Redfall for being 30 FPS seem to have no problem. Their eyes can adjust quite well to playing Zelda on the Switch at 30 FPS. And all I have to let me tell you what that is. It's called Nintendo goggles. Okay, people put their goddamn Nintendo glasses on, and suddenly 30 FPS, they can see fucking clearly. That's what it is, man. That's exactly what it fucking is. Now, I have a preference? I prefer 60 and up because I don't get headaches as often. It doesn't hurt my eyes. But that being said, if I want to play a game, I'm gonna fucking play the game. Example, last year I went back and I got the Bloodborne Platinum. That game is at 30 fucking frames. But I was like, you know what? Let's just go. And surprisingly, because I went back to Bloodborne at 30 FPS, and I went back to actually, I think Dark Souls 3 has a patch for PlayStation. I don't know if it does or not, but I was feeling sick playing Dark Souls 3 on PlayStation, but I was like perfectly fine playing Bloodborne, So I don't know if it's just like because I'm used to how Bloodborne looks or what. But anyway, I also played God, what is that game called? Fire Emblem Three Houses, 30 frames, baby. I fucking did it. I was able to do it. Now, again, here's the thing. It also, I can do it. I can play these games at 30. But what it really boils down to is this, right? They marketed these consoles as next generation hardware. That's really that's the only thing it really comes down to. So I'm talking specifically about the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. They marketed these consoles as next generation hardware that can run these games at 60 FPS. Therefore, games that come out need to be running at 60 FPS because the console is capable of running these games at 60. what games are running on at 60 on the Switch? Are there many? Are there many? But shout out to Brain Cells on Fire saying if these games ain't called Zelda and not released by Nintendo, but are the exact same game, they score in the 80s, no cap. That's so generous. More like upper 70s. You know what I'm saying? But let me stop talking shit. Stop talking shit. Zelda is an excellent game from what I've seen, you know? But and thank you so much. I appreciate it, my boy. What's up, Nautical? Let me know if you want to link real quick so you can come through and offer your thoughts on this game because that'd be great. But yeah, people have like these goddamn look at Slomo on Twitter. Just look. I'm about to. Sir? I'm about to message like, sir. He be making me goddamn sick to him. And anyway, let me just move on. Making me sick to my fucking stomach, right? But it is what. Oh, look at him! Look at him sending me stuff, but not sending his ass into, not teleporting his ass into this goddamn chat. Slow mo, where are you? Sir. Let me. This motherfucker. Ridiculous, but anyway, we just move on from that. But yeah, so if it ain't fucking Zelda, man, I don't goddamn know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, right? But yeah, I was on a tangent. What was I talking about, dude?
Zelda reviews.
Okay, so yeah, Zelda reviews. So there are some people who are critiquing those who claim that they can't go back to 30 FPS and it's like a huge issue without like they don't further elaborate what they mean. At the end of the day, it really does come down to this. The Xbox Series X and the PS5 are more than capable. Series S as well are more than capable of running games at 60. Therefore, it is unacceptable for these next generation titles. Mind you, Redfall is only on the Series S and the Series X. It is unacceptable, and it's $70, which, you know, there's that concept of you're getting next generation features or whatever, right? You should be getting more bang for your buck. That's why the game is up an extra $10 or whatever, right? There's like that concept of you getting what you pay for in that regard. So the fact that Redfall came out and it's running at 30 FPS it's unacceptable because it's on hardware that can run the game at a higher resolution. But they didn't put the patch out because they didn't have enough time or what. I don't know what the issue is exactly, but you know, that's a failing on their part because the hardware is capable. Again, do games run on the Switch at 60 FPS?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so as far as I mean, again, I don't play my games on the Switch. I'm not a Nintendo gamer like that. I'm not a Switch gamer. So if I have any Nintendo gamers in the chat or Switch gamers in the chat, if you'd like to correct me about if any games run at 60 on the Switch, I would love to hear it. But from what I've seen so far, for the most part, games don't run at 60 on the Switch because I'm assuming that the hardware is not capable of running games at 60 on the Switch. Therefore, that's why games don't run 60 on the Switch. So it's completely separate hardware. This is old hardware from what, when did the Switch come out?
2017.
This is hardware from 2017. The Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 came out in 2020. So it was 2020, right?
2020, yeah.
There are different expectations there when it comes to how your games are performing. Now, again, for some people who are going at those who are like, I can never play my games at 30, that's completely unacceptable. But like, you know, they're not further elaborating what the issue is. I think that's fair to be like, I need you to elaborate on what you mean by this, my boy. Like, I think it's fair to call them out for that because they didn't elaborate. Again, like, I can play games at 30. Do I fucking want to? No. No, I don't. No, I fucking don't. But if I don't have a goddamn choice, I will play my games at 30. You know why? Because regardless of the fact that I've not touched my goddamn PlayStation 5 since fucking February, and I turned on my Xbox to goddamn play that fucking Redfall, regardless of that, I am a gamer at the end of the day. In theory, I am a gamer at the end of the day. And if I really want to play something, if I don't have a choice, I'm a fucking play the game. So if I was someone who was super into like Zelda and super into Switch games like that, I'd be like, you know what? The bitch is just gonna have to take this L. The L, and there's gonna have to be an L outside of my name because I'm playing this fucking game. I'm not missing out on greatness because it's at 30 frames. Just like I did with Fire Emblem Three Houses, I played that shit at 30. Just like I did for Bloodborne to get that platinum, I played that shit at 30. Okay, I will make that sacrifice for myself. But again, next generation hardware, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are, you know? So there's just different expectations there, especially again, Redfall is a next generation game. So, hello Slomo. I saw your ass on Twitter, but not in this goddamn in here. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And then you DM'd me, and I was like, "I know this motherfucker is not DMing me and not in this goddamn stream." After you said, "I'll be there, Luca." You should have, yeah, and of course you didn't say I'll be there on time. So, so okay, well he's muted. Let me just say hi. Let's see here. Last game I beat was Dead Space remake. What if
Oh, my bad. I didn't realize I was muted. I'm sorry.
Nah, you're
Let,
good, dude.
let me reiterate what I was saying. I am sick, and therefore I'm petty today. So me being
When
sick
are
and
you not
petty
petty?
includes. And
When
well,
are
hey,
you
look,
not petty?
I'm
To be
always
honest.
petty, but now I'm also sick. So now I'm doing sick and petty stuff like sending you DMs while the show is live. Were you mad? Were you mad? Upset? You went off, didn't you?
I definitely went off, but it's what
Okay, good.
this
No.
behavior is what I expect from you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So what was your tweet even referring to? People who are bad at games people who are bad at playing games love games with bad AI. What is that even about?
I don't know.
Right. Okay. Whatever. So anyway, moving on from
Someone's
that.
gonna get triggered off of it though.
It doesn't. Yeah, maybe I'm just dumb. I just don't get it. What's up, Rod? How you doing, my boy? Geekhead, what's goody, my boy? Texas, what's up? Exactly, Geekhead. What's up, Dread? Saying I have to try Metroid. I gotta see what the hype's about. Exactly. Leaky, my boy Phil, my boy, what's up? What's up? Lynch, Black Dragon, what's up? Switch games do run on 60 FPS. So Mario Kart 8 runs at 60. So early Switch games ran at 60. Metroid and Monster Hunter run at 60. Metroid Prime Remastered runs at 60. Switch has 60 FPS games. Luca, Monster Hunter Rise ran at 30. I think some ordinary gamers had to emulate it in order to run Metroid Remastered at 60. Oh, shout out to Mudahar. If they're tried, okay. Nintendo had a chance to beef up. Okay, they chose not to. Metroid Prime was 30. All right, thank you guys for the correction. I appreciate it. What's up, J Swolls? Blade X, what's up? What's up, Pharaoh? I would say Samurai Black, what's goody? Lionel, what's up? Dauntless Dragon, Brain Cells on Fire, Spidey, up Chuck. Oh, what's up, Chuck? What's up, my boy? I would say that because this is like, okay, I'm spitballing because Zelda, the scope of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom versus the hardware that is the Switch, they couldn't get the game to run at 60. That is me spitballing without having any real knowledge about any of this stuff.
I
Does
bet
that
you they
sound
didn't
accurate?
even. Well, we know they absolutely never even went out there and said, "Hey, it might be 60," or showed us gameplay of the game running at 60. So there's that. There was this one game that came out where they showed all the gameplay at 60 frames per second. Never showed a second of gameplay on consoles, just on PC. And then there are people out here who are wondering why people are upset, but it is what it is.
Okay, well, I don't know what you're referring to. I'm super out of the loop, but
Okay, the chat know though.
yeah, I have no idea what you're fucking talking about, dude. But yeah, so yeah, like Zelda dropped to 20 FPS. Okay, why is it $70? I'll tell you why it's $70, Geekhead, because they can fucking charge $70. You're lucky they didn't choose to charge 80. I'm like, like their fans will buy that shit. They bought that goddamn Labo. All right, like Nintendo fans are fucking different. They are loyal. Okay, they're gonna buy that shit. They're gonna play it, and they're gonna fucking love it. They're a different breed. You know what I'm saying? So Nintendo could charge 80 and they would buy that shit.
You sure would.
They would eat
Yeah.
that shit up, man. They'd be like, yes, give me more.
They could have made the base model $100.
Exactly. They could have, and people would have bought it. And
sold
honestly speaking, listen, if it came to a game, listen, I'm about to sound crazy as hell, but I don't care. If it came to a game that I was really into, I would probably find someone to buy it for me. But if I couldn't find someone to buy it for me,
shocker.
If I couldn't find someone to buy it for me, I would buy the game at $100 if they were like listen, if it was like if it was like Bloodborne remake, I'm not a remaster. I'm talking a remake like they did with Demon Souls. I'd be like, here's my fucking money.
Oh, you mean the one
Here's my
they about to announce?
money.
You mean the one they about to announce now?
Yeah, sure, the one they're about to announce. Shout out to my boy Rodimus saying, I don't trust Slow-Mo's opinion anymore after he keeps pushing the narrative that a niche game, Chrono Trigger, will save Square Enix, not bigger than Final Fantasy. What? Slow-Mo? What are you saying?
Yeah, Chrono Trigger is one of the greatest games ever. It is by itself better than every Final Fantasy game that ever came out. So yeah, it would save Square Enix, but they're too dumb to make a remake of it. So whatever, you'll never find out.
You think that game would save Square Enix?
Yeah, absolutely. Completely turn their financials around. Turn them upside down.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, sometimes, we all believe different things, and the more time you spend in this community, perhaps your viewpoints start to get a little skewed.
Ain't nothing against you. John Doe is getting timed out. John Doe, you're getting timed out.
Maybe your way of thinking starts to change a little bit.
You know what? I'm gonna let you slide. You talk like that again, John Doe, you're getting timed out, buddy.
What do you say?
He said Chrono Trigger ass.
And he was right to say it, honestly.
You know what?
I'm just kidding.
Not only does he need some more brain cells, he needs some more words in his sentence to make it sound right.
Let's relax. Okay?
I know. I told you I'm sick.
Let's calm down, okay?
And I'm petty.
We all have different opinions. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that, like, the more time you spend.
Shout out to John Doe. I'm just messing with him.
The more time you spend in this community, the more time that your way of thinking starts to get a little skewed. It starts to get a little messed up. So Slow-Mo's perspective that Chrono Trigger could save the disaster that is Square Enix, the West or whatever. Doesn't
they
matter.
Make a remake of Chrono Trigger. They do it right. Not like wrong like Aspire and Knights of the Old Republic, but do it right. Man, I'm talking about like 99 Metacritic score. I'm talking game sales through the roof. It's selling everywhere. Square Enix is beloved again. Everyone loves them. People forget that they're highly invested in blockchain for some odd reason.
We all believe different things. We could just move on from that. So anyway, so yeah, thank you, Erodimus. I appreciate the super chat. I would say that for some people who are criticizing those who are like, well, you're suddenly okay with 30 frames. Again, people put on their fucking Nintendo goggles and they stop using their fucking brains, dude. Like, they stop using their brains in the sense that it's like they completely contradict something they said previously, and they don't even acknowledge the fact that they contradicted it. Like, for me, if I contradict myself, I'm like, yeah, baby, I just fucking contradicted myself. Yes, I'm a hypocrite. Yeah, did I lie before? It wasn't a lie to me, but it ended up being one because I just fucking changed my mind.
Oh, so when I say that, that's a problem, though.
What are you talking about?
When you was like, oh, would Slow-Mo be lying to me when he said he gonna call me back? And I'm like, well, when I said it, I intended on calling you back.
Let's break this down.
Okay.
I don't often contradict myself. Okay. And I don't often change my mind unless I'm presented with new information that prompts me to change my mind, right? You have a consistent pattern of behavior that's not going to get any better because you have no interest in changing for the better. Therefore, me critiquing you is valid.
No, not at all. Not at all. I do in the moment intend on calling you back. I'm telling you, like right in the moment, like, yo, I'm gonna call you right back. I am literally about to call you right back. But then things happen. Consistently things happen that prevent me from calling you right back. And then I forget that. That's my fault for forgetting after the fact. But in the moment, it was all true.
And every time you say, I'm gonna call you back, I'm like, all right, I'll talk to you tomorrow, buddy. Like, I know how this goes at this point. So,
oh my gosh.
All right, so okay. Singer, your thoughts on Zelda? Are you gonna play this game?
I've been playing this game.
All right, give me your perspective, please.
It is a huge step up over Breath of the Wild. People, you can't call this. In what ways? Okay, the islands, fantastic idea. Like, just the whole layout, being able to just jump off and go wherever you want is the most spectacular thing in the world. When you first get up to the point where you have to do your first jump, fantastic. And the graphics are it's looking good. It's looking good. And the new trick arm the Link has, that you could do all this building stuff. Like, is some of the most creative stuff ever. Like, I haven't fully explored what you could fully do with it, but like, you need it for some of the shrines and these puzzles, and you build bridges and carts and gliders. The thing is absolutely insane, and I am so glad they took their time with it, and it deserves the reviews it gets. Like, it isn't biased. Like, when they say it is better than Breath of the Wild, it is better than Breath of the Wild. Like, if you play Breath of the Wild and then you play this, better yet, if you haven't played Breath of the Wild yet, but you're thinking of going to Tears of the Kingdom, I would say play Breath of the Wild first, because when you play Tears of the Kingdom, you're not going to want to go back. And that's my feeling so far. I haven't got too far into the game, only a couple hours in, but it is a huge step up.
Sigga, what you playing it on, man?
Hey, Yuzu, you know what it is.
Whozu?
You know, I'm playing the exclusive version.
Oh, PC. At what resolution are you playing the game?
1440p.
1440p. Oh, I didn't know that was possible.
And 60 FPS.
60 FPS. Be still my heart. I didn't know that was possible. Wow. Wow.
I mean, it's
good for you.
I mean, if I'm going to put myself to play one of these games, I want to play the definitive version. I don't want to play the dumbed down version.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. We're gonna steal some games and have some fun.
Not at all, sir. No. My official copy is right next to me that I got from the shop. So I can I am above board. All checks and balances have been counted. And I am just enjoying my experience.
Okay. Well, I just want to let you know there's a Nintendo assassin right behind you.
Hey, man,
you might want to turn around.
Hey, I mean, it's fine if you take me out. Just don't take out my kids and then my grandkids. And, you messed up my life for the next 1,000 years.
You might want to check your mailbox. There's going to be a bullet in it with your name on it.
Doug Bowser's going to show up to my door. That's the one. Get him.
Oh, man.
I'll just disappear.
Good luck out there, man. I hope we see you next week.
Hey, I'm saying if I disappear, it was Nintendo, all right?
Oh yeah,
so everyone in the chat knows it was.
We do believe it. We won't do nothing about it though, because they might take us out too. So we just gonna let it ride. We gonna pull one out for you.
Really?
We're gonna pull one out for you, and we're gonna keep our mouth shut.
You're not gonna Avengers Assemble and try to rescue me from the Nintendo HQ?
I'm good, bro. We're searching the river though. That's probably where we find you there.
You'll probably find bits and pieces of me in the river.
But, Luca, where you at, man? Where Luca go?
I'm right here. Yeah, I just wanted him to offer all of his perspectives on the game.
Oh, my bad. I did interrupt you, but continue telling us about the hack version.
It's looking and running great. Is a huge step up. I'm not going to go into too much stuff because it is spoiler territory. Because there is some points in the game where there's story involved and shit. So I have to keep it light and simple. Just know that it is a massive step up from Breath of the Wild. Everything about it is, I would argue, better. Some people may have a different opinion. But so far, so good. It deserves its review score. Thing is, with Zelda, every single mainline game has got a 95 plus on Meta. Not a single one has not been below 95. I looked at it. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, all of them, just 95 and above. So It was expected. You could have bet on it. There would have been a 95 and above because it's Zelda. But it deserves the score. It is a really good game. Don't hate just because it's Nintendo. And that's all, Luca.
Okay, well, I'm very happy that you are enjoying yourself ultimately on the game. And it's a good experience for you. I if you guys are enjoying the game, that's awesome to hear as well. And yeah. So, I mean, Singer, what do you think about people critiquing the frame rate and those who had an issue with Redfall's garbage frame rate versus Zelda?
The thing is, that's two different. One's a next gen game designed for Series X. This is a game built on hardware from 2017 or 2016. Like, what they did is ninjas to get Zelda the way it is now. They worked hard and they deserve all the credit they get. But at the same time, the people over at Arcane and Xbox, you have to roast their ass because there's no excuse. So you can't compare the two situations. Sure, okay, they're both running at 30 FPS. Mine isn't. But yeah, okay. But the thing is, this is for the Series X, this is for the Switch. Now think about that, the disparity between those two hardware. Like, it's just unacceptable to have a next-gen game at 30 FPS. And it is what it is. Like, you can't compare the two, so stop doing it, because it's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Okay, I think that's fair. Go ahead, Slomo. Give your perspective on everything.
I've hated Zelda since I was a little kid. Ever since this dude named Franklin had we all had the Nintendo Entertainment System, and he had Zelda, and he was just like, "Oh, look, I got the Zelda," because it was hard to get him, and basically he only really wanted it because the cartridge was gold. So we broke it. We broke his Zelda. And I just said,
did I ask for a backstory? No fucking jutsu? Like, what? Can you get to the point?
What? You asked me what my opinion was on Zelda. I'm telling you my opinion.
I'm talking about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom and how.
All right. So look, I don't care. I'm not gonna play it. I think it's funny that like when like I saw it, I predicted a 97 and it started out as a 97. Excuse me. And then, I knew people would be out here like it changed my life. I had herpes and now I don't have herpes anymore. It was like weird, like kind of stuff like that people were saying in their reviews. And I was just like, wow, okay, strange. Like no lie, someone said it makes me creatively better. And like, I'm like, okay, what?
Did they elaborate on that?
I don't know. It was just the headline. I ain't read it.
I think that's a really I feel like that's something interesting, and I think if you elaborate on that, I think that's fair because I feel like I know a lot of developers are going to take cues from certain aspects of this game to create creatively when it comes to some of their future titles. So.
Yeah, I mean, look, more than likely there are going to be some aspects of the game that people, because this happens with every game that's rated this high, right? I'm going to be serious for a moment. Every game that's rated this high, other developers look at it and go, "Oh, I like this, I like that. Let's take aspects of this game and then incorporate it in what we're doing in our game." And so, like we said, it's about Elden Ring. There are going to be aspects of Elden Ring's game design that you're going to start seeing kind of spread throughout the rest of the industry as time goes on, as this generation goes on. You can already kind of hear people talking about certain things like that. We see the same thing for God of War. I mean, freaking Dragon Age is trying to emulate God of War's combat. So it is what it is. That's it. 30 frames per second. I don't play games at 30 frames per second, so I'm not playing it. I'm not playing that. I don't really care for Zelda anyway, as you all know my history, my backstory. So I was never interested to begin with. If it was going to be 30 or 60, I could play it. The Wuzu route, like Singer. I just don't care to play the game, so I'm not going to. So, But I'm happy for those who enjoy it and love it, and say it, it saved their marriage and everything. I'm happy for you guys. I hope you continue to enjoy it and blow your load the next time Zelda drops 3 years from now. So yeah.
Okay, so do you think that people have any valid critiques when it comes to folks who are who stated that they would never be able to play anything at 30, but
I think
I mean, I've always cemented I'll never play anything at 30, and I have stuck by my principles. So I mean, you can do it. You can stick by your principles, people. You just have to,
just break some different principles, I guess.
have no moral code.
It is. If there were people out here like I could never ever play a game at 30 frames per second, and then they're like, I love this game. I love it. I'm playing it on my 4K OLED. It looks beautiful. It runs beautiful and smooth. And like, yeah, absolutely, you're a fraud, bro. Like you're definitely fraud. If someone's like, I couldn't play a game that's like a first person shooter at 30 frames per second, but this kind of game is different, because it's not a shooter, then I guess that's somewhat valid because they're different genres and everyone has their own personal opinions about things. But when it comes down to it, it's just, I think there's a lot of the backlash to people's opinions and praise for this game just due to a certain segment of the fan base upset that Redfall rightly got criticized. One, for marketing the game at 60 frames per second, marketing only showing it on PC, flying out influencers and playing the game with more than likely was a bunch of 4090 PCs. And then we saw the actual end result of the game was, as Phil Spencer said, the game didn't live up to the developer's own game design and ideas. 30 FPS at launch on consoles, completely unoptimized on PC. Sorry, the game stinks. It performs poorly, and it's a poor game. And making this a big deal about like, well, other people said they didn't want to play this. Other people said they got sick playing Redfall, but they're not getting sick playing Zelda. It's like, well, yeah. Too bad. Get over it.
You're saying sucks to suck?
Sucks to suck. Redfall is still trash, and so is your opinion. So just move on, bro. Like it's like you're not gonna make anyone change their mind. Oh, you're right. I am being a hypocrite. Never mind. Zelda stinks. No, they're not gonna say that, bro. Redfall still stinks. Zelda apparently doesn't stink.
Yeah, I think a lot of it does come down to this. It's the hardware thing. If Zelda was coming out on like Nintendo's next generation hardware and it was running at 30, I'm gonna keep it real with you. People would still be defending that shit to the goddamn grave, man. It is 2023, and I could see Nintendo coming out with another console that only runs shit at 30 frames because they're Nintendo. They just do whatever they want. But it's just different expectations because of different hardware. But I do think that some people being like, hey, I thought you said you could never play a game at 30. Like, that's different than saying like you can deal with it if it's at 30 on certain hardware.
Right. And I think what most people are saying is that now it's 2023. Sure, we used to play games. See, like in 2015, everybody was playing games at 30 frames per second. Why? Because literally you had no choice. There was no hardware that was being able to push the games as they were coming out at 60 frames per second. And that's not talking about a Nintendo Switch that wasn't even out yet. I'm talking the Xbox One and the PS4. But now here we are in 2023, far more advanced hardware. There are games that are coming out. All of Sony's first party games have a quality and performance mode. And that's 30, or modes that attempt to stick to 30 and attempt to stick to 60 frames per second. Like, there's just no reason to not have a game on that kind of hardware come out in 2023 and not be able to do that. Now, freaking Nintendo Switch is weaker than an Xbox One VCR. It's weaker than a base model PS4. It's weaker than hardware that came out in 2013.
Yeah. All right. So shout out to Sir X-Man, who's been a member for 29 months. Thank you so much, saying, hope you enjoyed your trip last week, Luca. Yeah, I went to Boston last week. First of all, no offense to anyone who lives in Boston. Your food sucks. Listen, trash, did not have a good time. I was actually a little upset. I'm not going to lie. I went to go basic ass donut I could get in fucking Chicago, basic ass burger I can get in fucking Chicago. What is Boston known for?
Trash accents and racism.
Okay, well, most of the country. So shout out to Fanatic with the super chat saying Nintendo can magic with
Fanatic in the house. My bad, go ahead.
Nintendo can magic with meager ingredients.
Okay, my bad, go ahead.
Nintendo can magic with meager ingredients. They're like the jailhouse chef that can make Dorito burritos. Nice. It's just talented the developers is what it comes down to. Now, speaking of developers and talent, I would say I feel like I'm a relatively nice person for the most part, right?
I'm looking bump myself on mute. Hold on.
Yes, I feel like I'm a relatively nice person for the most part. Let me find this article. But there are certain things that I have no interest in being nice about. Let's see here. So essentially what happened is that last week when Redfall came out, a developer came out, which I actually do kind of feel bad because she seemed pretty upset. But I think people are upset spending their hard-earned money on garbage products, so there's that too. But she came out, her name's Sadie. She's like, I did not anticipate my own peers, friends, or colleagues openly mocking and being gleeful of a difficult launch, delighting in the failure of others, no matter how you feel towards a company, seems mean-spirited. I feel sad, confused, and disappointed. And I saw this tweet, and I was like, let me not quote retweet this because I was going to say something fucking crazy. And I was just like, let me leave this girl alone. Like, she's clearly dealing with some things right now in terms of like how she feels about this launch of the game. But shout out to MJ, my boy. He's saying, popped in to say hello at the perfect time. Being mean is sometimes necessary. Shrug. I mean, sometimes it is what it is. Appreciate the big dono. Appreciate you, my boy. Thank you.
But
thank you so much.
You think Sadie was talking specifically about other developers kind of like going in on Redfall and not necessarily?
She said colleagues, so
yeah. So I think
colleagues. So yes,
yeah, I think she's upset at other devs on social media poking fun at her game.
Which I mean,
yeah.
Okay. Look, and then wait, let me continue. And she continues with, I try to keep things positive. I really do, but I'm human. I have feelings. Seeing people I looked up to saying things like, well, they deserve this. Now their resumes are tainted. LOL. What fucking idiots.
Wow.
Have truthfully been the
really?
Now that's a little harsh.
That is very
that's a bit harsh.
I mean, I apologize for laughing. I was just shocked that was like from a dev. That dev would say that. Now
I mean, I'm not shocked. These people don't have any goddamn fucking decorum. The people in the gaming industry are like the most unprofessional fucks who are still allowed to have their names attached to
talk about it
while still being rude as fuck, disrespectful as fuck, saying vile shit, and then also talking shit about us and acting like they're better than us. Right. This is like the only industry where people can fucking do that. Maybe no, I think it's the only industry that I've seen, at least. You guys can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But
just because you know how to use Unreal Engine doesn't mean you're not a dickhead. I mean,
exactly.
You're still a dickhead that knows how to use Unreal Engine.
So I'm not surprised at all that they were being assholes to her and her colleagues. And you know what? Again, let's talk about it like this. I understand exactly where she's coming from. It hurts. It hurts when you put in a lot of work and you put in a lot of effort, and maybe that effort and hard work isn't reflected in the project and the scope of the project, because you're not the only person working on it. Like maybe it's not actually reflected, but it still hurts when you feel like
you know what she does, right?
Hard.
She's like a 2D artist, so she did them cutscenes. I think.
What cutscenes?
Right. The 2D watercolor paintings that they kind of just pan the camera left to right. while a voiceover was happening to kind of simulate a cutscene.
Sure, but we're assuming that's what she did.
I'm assuming because her role is 2D artist, and I'm looking at the game and it's like,
sweetie, your shit sucks. I'm sorry. Your shit sucks. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be mean, but like sometimes, and here's the thing, I feel like people are too concerned. They're so concerned with like maintaining someone's feelings, which I think is fair. I think there's definitely you definitely should be concerned with maintaining someone's feelings, right? But at the same time, sometimes you just put out work that is subpar in comparison to your colleagues. And it sucks, but that's kind of a reality that you have to contend with, and you have to choose for yourself if you're going to take this moment and be like, okay, this wasn't good, people made fun of me for it, let me try and perfect my craft. Let me try and get better at it. Like, again, when it comes to certain kinds of critique and how it's phrased, there's a difference between critiquing something and then being an asshole and making fun of somebody. People saying things like, oh, these developers are fucking idiots. People saying things like your resume's tainted. People saying things like they deserve this. I feel like that's a little much. But people talking specifically about the game being ass, I think there's nothing wrong with that. But shout out to Phil, who's been a member for 15 months, saying devs will talk extra spicy about other studios behind the scenes. Like, you are, baby boo, you already know how they do. Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So,
like I remember when Elden Ring came out, and you saw all those devs from like Guerrilla and Ubisoft were like basically,
I know they were bad,
critiquing the hell out of Elden Ring. It was like, look at the map, look at how they did the open world. I was like, all right, yo, they selling more in this one game. You guys are sold in 5, but all right then. It's
like, sometimes your colleagues are just better than you. I mean, it's like my colleagues in the space that I exist in are better than me, and I just accept it. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. Ryan says, because I do agree. I said this earlier, Ryan. Ryan says, I wonder how she feels about consumers getting ripped off. That's what I said as well. I was like, so I understand that your feelings are hurt, but what about the feelings of the people who actually invested the $70 to buy this goddamn game? They're fucked, man. I mean, of course they can return it, but still, like, talk about getting a mediocre goddamn fucking product, man. Like, it's just not. It's not. I just think it's, especially if you exist in this particular space where gamers have such easy access to you, you got to be mindful of the name of the game. But she did specifically say it was her colleagues, her friends, and other people in the industry. So, and if your friends are talking shit about your shit, I don't know if they're your friends, because even if I put out some subpar stuff, they might hit me up behind the scenes like, hey, yo, girl, that shit was ass, right? And I'll be like, yeah, thank you for saying it was ass behind the scenes. But like, if they're going around talking shit about your stuff, I don't really think they're your friends, my dear,
Right. I do agree with you that like it's fair game even from developers to critique like the actual work. Like, the game sucks. Like the actual work done wasn't good. Then yeah, within reason, critiquing that makes sense, and we do that as consumers. I'm pretty sure she doesn't really care for the gamers' opinion of it, because a lot of devs don't really care about how us gamers feel. But the whole your resume is now tainted is like, that seems like particularly petty. Like it almost seems targeted. And so like I do know there's a lot of people that like, and we know some devs, and we hear things that they say, and there's a lot of people out here, like as you said before, some of these developers are garbage human beings themselves. You never know. I don't know who said that, and she didn't, I guess, like blow up the person's spot that actually said what she quoted, but they could have known someone who worked at Arcane Austin that was an actual literal piece of human walking garbage, and was like, well, good, now your resume is tainted, sexually harassing piece of garbage, now you got to deal with this, like that kind of thing. You never know if someone has a personal beef or vendetta, and that's why they said what they said, and then she sees it and she takes it personally, even though
That's
it's not
actually
really targeted.
fair.
Yeah,
I think that's fair as well, because sometimes there's been several instances where someone is talking about like a specific person in a group in a whole, but then everybody in the group takes it personally because they don't know that they're not talking about you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment and a fair point, Slow.
yeah.
Eric
That's all I
says,
have is fair assessments and fair points. That's all I can do.
so Eric says that I wouldn't even say one thing if I was a dead on Redfall. You wouldn't catch my ass on Twitter if I was a developer on Redfall. You would not catch my ass on Twitter. Certainly not.
I
I'd
wouldn't
be like,
even have social media no more.
Exactly. I definitely wouldn't have a Twitter if I was a developer, and if I did, it'd probably be on private with only a few people attached to it.
I would just be on
y'all
LinkedIn.
ain't coming after me. All right, y'all ain't getting my ass. Y'all know how people do.
People are much nicer on LinkedIn. That's where I would stay if I was a dev.
I mean, they have to be. It's
right. Got your name attached to it.
I mean, their names are attached to this too, but it's just a different environment there.
Yeah.
All right. So, next topic. All right, let us discuss this Phil Spencer interview. So, Phil Spencer recently came out with an interview, and who was it with?
It was with Kind of Funny.
Yeah, Kind of Funny Games.
Did a interview with Kind of Funny Games. Excellent interview. They did a very good job. Asked some important questions, and Phil was very regretful. He was very, what is a good word? What kind of energy did he put on?
He was very irritated, and he admitted that he was kind of like not in a good mood. And then he seemed very, to me, very defeatist.
Defeated. Yes, he seemed very defeated in his tonality. He also made a little quick comment about how, he's like, they might be getting my ass out of here. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So he did say that. They asked him, like, so y'all didn't know that this game was going to come out as? And Phil was like, our internal reviews reflected something else. Okay, fire whoever's doing your internal reviews because they don't know what they're talking about, dear. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Secondly, really? Oh, but secondly, he made an excellent point. He talked about how game design versus bugs, right? So essentially, he made the point that even if the game came out and it worked flawlessly, at the end of the day, the core of the game is what a lot of people have issues with. Example that many
saying the game sucks.
Example that many people have used is that even though Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor, what is that game called?
Jedi Survivor, yeah.
Even though Jedi Survivor came out and was extremely a super buggy fucking mess, even though that game came out as a buggy mess, at the core of the game is a excellent game, according to folks. That's not the case with Redfall. So he was just kind of like, there's no point in delaying it any further, even if it's just to fix these bugs. Because I am, by the way, I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say this exactly right, but this is how I received the information that he conveyed, right? This is my perception of it. But he was like, even if we delayed that shit, the core of the game is still not being taken well by gamers. So, and I was like,
he
that's
said
fucking
the devs
fair.
themselves didn't achieve their own vision of the game.
And I want to know, what was your vision of the game, developers? What was their vision? I would love to know.
I want to know is why you released that game if you knew that it wasn't good.
Too much money invested in? Try to recoup the losses?
I mean, maybe.
I don't know, but yeah. So, but then after this interview, a lot of people, they're woe is Xbox, Xbox doomers, as they like to say. That's a new thing the kids are using, doomers. Some of them are like, well, what about Starfield? Now, there are some people who said, why would you bring up Starfield in relation to Redfall? Because Arcane and Bethesda are two separate studios, even though they're under the same umbrella, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's my thing. I think people should be concerned about Starfield just because it's fucking Bethesda. It has nothing to do with Arcane. It's Bethesda. Name a launch of a Bethesda game that did it where the game didn't come out as a fucking buggy mess. Name one, Singer.
It's a trick question. Don't think too hard on it, man.
Yeah, there isn't.
Exactly. So for me, I'm just kind of like,
I know there wasn't any, but I was seeing if there was one like way back when. But no, that's probably buggy too.
Exactly. Oh, also, Paul's like, no one mentioned that Phil said he felt he's overpaid for his job. Like, who says that? People who are fucking overpaid for their job, okay? Like him. That's who's fucking said. I wish I was overpaid. Phil, send me some of your money, my boy. Like, please. But anyway.
Donate some of that overpaid money to a motion capture studio. Get some cutscenes for your games. How about that?
Goddamn. Let me real quick. I was addicted to Fallout Shelter. The amount of money I spent on that goddamn mobile game. Oh, they had my ass.
Money on it. Like I remember playing it. I didn't spend any money.
Like lunch boxes, loot boxes. I don't know what the fuck they were called. And you could get like outfits and like characters in there and stuff, and like, you know. But it was, listen, I spent a lot of money on that shit. They were geniuses for coming out with that. So anyway, shout out to Lynch DJ saying, a game to turn out as bad as Redfall makes me think a management issue more than individual dev/artists, like working for a bad director. It almost always does come down to that.
Agreed. Yeah.
It almost always comes down to that. Like, they're, you know, again, if they didn't achieve the vision of the game, it's because whoever was leading them sucks at their job, or maybe they were getting interference. I don't know,
or they weren't getting the
proper support.
Yeah, proper support that they needed. Which, I mean, Phil pretty much admitted that. He said that they didn't pay attention to them, and if they would have made sure that 60 frames per second was there at launch, which, you know, something they should have known back in like last fall, which tells me that they printed the boxes with 60 FPS on them. That tells me they really didn't know the game didn't have 60 frames per second until like maybe a few months ago. So it's, you know, that's on management for being completely aloof and not knowing what's going on with a game that you made your one more thing at E3. Like, come on now.
Yeah, when I say Bethesda games, I'm talking about Bethesda Game Studios, so Fallout and Elder Scrolls. I'm not talking about like the studios under them. I'm talking specifically about that studio. So, but I hear what y'all are saying. What's up, Taz? Always good to see you, my boy. Yeah. No, exactly. So I think like Phil also has to keep in mind and like be mindful of the fact that like people were getting on Microsoft for not allowing creative vision and freedom for their developers. And so I feel like maybe they veered too far on the other side. And now there's like no fucking oversight. There's no one who come through and be like, your shit is ass, fucking cancel it. There's no one coming out like how Sony is just, let's shut down this studio and this studio and this studio. You know what I'm saying? So like, I know Microsoft in its entirety, they're laying folks off, but you get what I'm saying? Like, they're not shutting down studios like that at Microsoft. I don't think. Are they?
No, they're not.
Okay. So like, they just too nice. They're just too like, and it's interesting to even like it's like this concept and idea of being nice, because at the end of the day, they're still a fucking corporation, and corporations in itself are evil. Would I like to be part of an evil corporation making buku money? Yes, absolutely. I would love that. But that's not for me, I guess, you know? Like, some people just don't benefit. Some people don't get those things. Okay, so anyway. Yeah. I'm just looking at this stuff over here. Oh, yeah. So folks are stating that they're concerned about Starfield because of the Redfall situation. Do either of you agree with that kind of concern, or do you think it's unwarranted? Yes, I'm going to send you a link, boo. No, are either of you even here? I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I guess not. I said, do either of you agree with people's concerns about Starfield?
No, I don't. And
I do.
Well, let Singer go first.
Okay.
The reason I don't share the concerns is because even Phil said in the interview, you know, they've actually been hands-on with Starfield, unlike what they did with Redfall. And I know Todd is going to get out the game in the best state Bethesda possibly can get it. but it's their baby. This is the game that needs to hit. So I have a feeling they are putting everything behind it to make sure that it does hit. I don't think it's going to have these Redfall issues because it's the big IP. It's the one everyone's been waiting for. They've been shouting it from the rooftops. It's Todd Howard and Todd Howard Games always. Despite what they come out, that for the most part they come out relatively good and they score well, good critical reception, and everyone falls in love with the buggy game. So I think the same thing will happen here. My concern was the rating, but now it's mature, it's got drugs, it's got sex, it's got perfect. Okay, cool. So we're a standard Bethesda game. So I'm not worried at all. I'm like, okay, this game more likely will come out good. It's not going to be a Redfall. We're not having that again. No, it's Starfield.
Okay, so I have something to say. Okay.
It's disgraceful to game. What's disgraceful to gaming is devs still can't figure out how to optimize for PC. Because I guarantee you, any amount of money, Redfall will run nice on PC. Unlike other people trying to put their games on PC. Just saying.
So did Dishonored?
Okay, so I just want I love your confidence, baby boy. I love your confidence. I love your energy. Like, it's just so wonderful to have that kind of confidence and energy. Where does it stem from? If you can elaborate on
my Arcane, the Redfall energy came from Arcane. Arcane have generally put out good games, so I trusted in Arcane. They broke my trust. So the next time Arcane comes out with a game, I'm gonna look at them with the side eye and tell them to fuck themselves until they can prove it.
True, like that's fair.
So you don't see this as a little bit of deja vu, a little bit of.
The thing is, Arcane's going out of what they normally make to make this open world co-op
a little bit of butterfly effect.
No,
Groundhog Day.
Because unlike Redfall is a different kind of game than what they make. Starfield is Todd Howard's bread and butter. Skyrim, Fallout, Elder Scrolls. It's in the same vein. So I find it really hard if you've been making the same type of game for so many years and you're making the same type of game again. It really is hard to fuck it up. I mean,
so they've had procedurally generated thousands of worlds in their previous games?
No.
Okay.
The rest of it they have.
They had all the crafting.
Didn't they do a bunch of procedurally generated stuff in, what was it, Oblivion or Morrowind? One of those, right?
Oh wait, yeah, they did.
Yeah,
actually, they did.
Oblivion, right?
Thanks for reminding me. But it's basically just going to be Fallout in space. That's what you get. That's what Skyrim in space. They told you Skyrim in space. That's what you get. So, okay, cool. I can deal with that. So give me Skyrim and Fallout in space. That's fine. But that's why I have faith in Howard, because it's the same genre. It's the same style of game. It's an open world RPG, sandbox RPG, which he has been doing for like the past 40 years. So
all right. Thank you, Phil. Phil says procedurally generated places in Daggerfall and Arena, not Oblivion. Okay, thank you. I had no idea which one it was, but I do remember I watched like this documentary on it. But thank you very much for the correction. I appreciate it. So, yeah. Okay, Slow-Mo, go ahead.
All right. So, is there a should you be concerned? I mean, I guess it depends on the person. I would say I think Xbox is probably concerned because what Xbox lacks that Nintendo and Sony have or must have can't miss games. And Xbox has not had that for the entirety of Phil Spencer's regime. At no point since he took over in 2014 has he released a game that was a system seller, can't miss kind of title. And every time he releases a game that is just pretty good, just okay, or a complete disaster like Redfall, it increases the pressure on the next first party release to be that game. Excuse me. And Starfield is as big as it is. Todd Howard stamped, and they're talking so big about how much they have put into trying to make this game the best it could be. And Phil Spencer even said in the interview that like they didn't pay attention to Redfall, but they paid attention to Starfield, and Starfield's going to have the proper support from Xbox that Redfall should have had. All that said, like, yeah, that's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure to reverse a narrative and reverse a image of a brand where people don't think the games are as good as their competition's games. And so in order to get people to say, you know what, I'm not going to sell my PS5, but I will pick up an Xbox to play blank, you need to deliver a game that actually does that. Now, if turns out Starfield is Fallout in space, Elder Scrolls in space, whatever, typical Bethesda Games Studios game in space, I don't think that's enough to be a can't miss kind of game. I think that's exactly what Bethesda fans are looking for, and they're going to be satisfied and happy with it. But the overall gaming community is going to be like, I'm good. I'll pass. And I think so, although for Todd Howard and team, it may be a success and it may be great for them. For Xbox as a whole, it's just another mid-80s rated, decent to very good title.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think that if Starfield comes out and it's good, that's like definitely the positive energy that they need. Because name Xbox titles that have scored in the 80s and 90s, and it like besides there's Halo, okay, which we all know what happened with Halo Infinite, all right, and then there's Forza, which is always guaranteed to do well. So
Pentiment,
okay, Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush,
you're outside of Forza and Halo.
Yeah, Pentiment. Singer, do you not know these? The games that score high, like 80s and 90s on Xbox?
What of all from since this generation?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Flight Simulator, Halo, Forza Horizon,
Deathloop.
Then you have Pentiment.
Okay, so anyway, I think that if they have a positive a game from like if they have a game that comes out and it does very, very well, like if Starfield scores
Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah. If Starfield scores well, I think that's like a W. I think anything over like an 85 at this point is a fucking W for Xbox, considering how their other titles have gone. You know what I'm saying? And I do agree with you, Froggy. In that regard, like people fucking Fallout 4 sold buku money, you know what I'm like, sold buku copies, that is, like it made a lot of money. So I don't know. I think that if Starfield is a banging title, I think that says everything. No, it doesn't. I think it says something. And that something is they said they sent out some of their people to help them out. And on the off chance that Starfield launches and it's like not a buggy fucking disaster like all of Bethesda's other launches, I do think that is a W in that sense. What's up, Nautical?
What it do?
What it do, baby boo?
What it do?
What it does, little cuz.
Sounds like a great conversation in here about Starfield and other stuff.
What's up, Forte?
What's up, Forte? What's up, 720p Link on the 4K OLED? What's up, bro?
Doing good, looking blurry as usual. What's up?
Oh man, I won't disagree with you on that, but okay. That's one thing I won't disagree with you on. You play it on a 4K TV, it's a little rap.
All right, so your thoughts on this Phil Spencer interview and whether or not folks should be concerned about Starfield?
I mean, concerned. Oh man, this is like a loaded question. So Phil Spencer, I love his honesty. I think that's the thing I love the most about him. I'm not really concerned about Starfield. I do think that gamers in general are going to put more pressure on Starfield than is really need it, but that's because Xbox themselves put a spotlight on Starfield by not having anything to have people take some of the craving away, if you know what I mean. It's like every release before this, has kind of been somewhat of a letdown. And I'm not counting Hi-Fi Rush because I think Hi-Fi Rush is a great game, but Hi-Fi Rush is still not the game that it's not in the category of game we're talking about. We're talking about a AAA game with a AAA budget and everything like that. The things that they've been talking about since 2018, 2017, games that were supposed to be the beginning of what Xbox is, from the future, going towards the future. And they missed the mark on pretty much all their big titles with the exception of Forza Horizon. I think that's the one that really hit expectations. Everything else has either been kind of down or incomplete when it comes to Halo. Great game, but still an incomplete product. And Starfield is going to catch the brunt of that just due to the fact that Xbox fans are just starving, and they're going to be looking at this game as the next game that's going to quench that hunger. But if it doesn't do it, what is it? It's going to go to the next game, and then the next game is going to get the pressure and stuff. So for me, what I really hope Microsoft does is just pull the curtain up on pretty much everything they're doing in light of the showcase on June 11th. Because even knowing those aren't games that we're going to be playing like right now, they at least need to show what these games look like, what they play like, get people's attention to be more than just saying, well, it's Starfield or bust. Because right now, Starfield is the only thing we know that's coming. We know other games are coming, but we haven't seen those games. We haven't seen what Hellblade is going to look like in-game, in-engine when it comes to playing the combat. We haven't seen what Fable is going to look like. We haven't seen that stuff yet. We haven't seen what Contraband is going to be. So until that happens, Starfield's all we know. And the unfortunate thing is, it's already got a couple of strikes up against it because it's Bethesda, and we already know the game's going to probably come out buggy to an extent. I do think they're going to probably put a little bit more care to making sure that's to a minimum, but it's still going to be there. But if they don't have a way of showcasing stuff that people actually care about and get people excited for things that's not going to be that the things that are going to come out past Starfield, and Starfield is all people have to look forward to, then they already lost before Starfield even came out. And that's the unfortunate thing about it. But it's not that Starfield has the expectations. It's just that Microsoft has this big shining spotlight on it because they have nothing else to show. As of right now, at least.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so just a quick Google search. Fallout 4, which is their last mainline Bethesda Game Studios title, sold 20 million copies.
Oh yeah.
Made 750 million on its first day. So there's that. Again, that's their last mainline Bethesda title. So, if you're asking outside of Skyrim, there's that.
What year was that for Fallout?
And I don't fucking remember.
Fallout 4 was like 2016.
So that's when PlayStation was already around 50 to 60 million consoles at that time. And PlayStation was the lead platform on that. So you also got to remember that that's not a thing anymore.
That's 2015.
Yeah. So you're going to be missing at least 2.5 to 3/4 of that. I guess because it sells a lot on PC too. You're going to be missing a lot of those sales from just not being on PlayStation too.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
And on Game Pass. Don't forget about that.
I think that's fair. Actually, that's an excellent point. That's a great point, dude. In terms of success, they all have to measure it.
The way that they've been measuring everything.
Have to measure it differently.
Right. Because you ain't going to measure
is Starfield going to give you getting that 20 million copies sold? I don't know. Especially with fucking Game Pass. Oh, man. That's a great point, Nautical. Good point. But in terms of like the concept of whether or not the games are popular and could make a difference, then yes, that is the answer based on how their last titles were done.
think it will live up to that expectation just because I think the PC side of it will.
Because people say that it wasn't them. It wasn't main them.
It was there's a lot of so Todd Howard presented it as his
my
game.
favorite liar. I'm sorry.
Right. He presented it as his game. A lot of people that defend them say it was a B team studio that did under Bethesda, not the main studio that did Fallout 76, but those who kind of look into it in further detail say that Todd Howard did kind of like he was directing them and had direction over them. Not he just wasn't fully tuned in to it as his other titles were. All that said, we know how that turned out, and apparently it's gotten better. So good for the fact that it got better over time. But at launch, it definitely was a freaking disaster.
Yeah.
All that said, when I say something like Skyrim in space, like I expect people to understand I'm talking about the game design in a different setting.
I mean,
not
you
necessarily
didn't elaborate on that, Slomo.
Huh?
You did not elaborate. You made a
why would I
comment.
need to elaborate? Why would I say
that
Skyrim in space?
So
why would I like a game that's not even out yet? I will automatically assume that like it's the same level of quality as Skyrim that sold 5 billion copies. Yes, a game that I have never played yet is exactly the same level of quality. I'm talking about the game design, the setting.
Okay, I would like to note and point out that most people, you included, use developers' previous titles as like a baseline idea on how their next title is gonna do.
Yeah, and
how it's
that's
gonna go.
why I said before that based on that, this would not live up to Xbox expectations because only the Bethesda hardcore would love Starfield.
Okay, but the Bethesda hardcore is 20 million people.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
If it's as good as Skyrim, it'll be more than 20 million.
I agree.
Not
with
everyone
that
who
too.
buys a game enjoyed it.
Okay, but it still sold 20 million copies. So regardless if they enjoyed
it ain't selling 20 million copies this time because it's on Game Pass.
It actually might.
No, it won't.
Because the PC. Do you understand how big
it's on PC Game Pass too?
Yeah, but you have to understand the modding community is so astronomically large for Todd Howard games specifically. Only his games.
It ain't selling 20 million copies. Singer.
It probably will. At the end of its life, it will. Because PC is going to 2030? PC is going to splurge. No.
You hit me up in 2030 when it's like slow mo. It hit 20 million. I told you. I'm like, well, I mean, all right, what game were you talking about again? I would have forgot about it. But like, it's a different marketing structure. It's a different platform design that they're dealing with Starfield. Like, it could be as successful as Skyrim and Fallout 4 and still not sell anywhere near what those games sold, simply because it's going to be launching in Game Pass on Xbox and PC.
Yeah, like I can't.
And
I can't imagine
skipping PlayStation completely.
Yeah. Plus, we don't ever get fucking sales anymore when it comes to Xbox. So we have no we're never gonna be able to fully measure it unless Bethesda is completely separate from Xbox in regards to how they do certain other things. But shout out to Aman who's become member of the channel. Shout out to you, my boy. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. Some more tier. I know that's fucking right. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And enjoy your system, my boy. That shit is fucking exciting.
Remember when they announced that picture of Phil Spencer with the rocket pod of the Xbox Series X on his shoulder? Those were great days with Xbox.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Those were great days back then.
But like I said, the baseline conversation, the main conversation we're having is whether or not Bethesda and whether or not Starfield is enough of a W for Xbox. And I say that. I say it is. Someone says no. Singer says yes. But and then what do you?
What's that supposed to mean?
Did we not play a clip of you saying you have the utmost faith in Arcane?
I did have the utmost for Arcane, and they hadn't done me wrong until now. Now they've done me wrong. My faith is gone in them. But Todd Howard.
But Todd Howard.
No, but it's
you don't learn.
World RPG.
You might as well dust that man's jeans.
No. But it's not a new genre. It's not like he's trying to make an FPS or something. He is making his bread and butter. So why would he fuck up what he's been making for the past 20 years?
I don't
Makes
know.
no
Why
sense.
would Bethesda announce a game coming out in a calendar year when they've never done that before, and all of a sudden they come back and delay a game? I mean, that's never happened before either.
Yeah, they're doing like them delaying the game is excellent. I'm happy they are.
I'm glad they delayed it, but I'm just
an entire year.
Yeah,
imagine if that game had come out. Oh, the bugs. I'm feeling sickly.
What's your name? Redfall?
Starfield.
Oh, shoot.
Don't let this game be buggy at launch. We're gonna be saying the same thing that we said about Halo. What happened if this game would have came out last year?
It says relatively. I mean, personally, I'm gonna play on PC because I know they'll release the unofficial patch and fix everything for me.
Yeah,
I know that's gonna happen. So if you're gonna play on PC.
Okay, no, but see, we got to stop that, Singer. Just because the game comes out on PC, we can't be having listen, man, we can't be going off as like, oh well, yeah, I'm gonna play it on PC. No, we ain't playing nothing on PC. It should work everywhere.
It should work everywhere.
So we can't give them this excuse to say, oh, well, it works on PC, but it's broken on my Xbox.
But we have to see how drastic, or it might come out pretty smooth and there might not be that many bugs because they've delayed it so many times to work on it.
Singer.
That's possible, but like, you know,
best on you. What is that moniker that Phil Spencer said? Best on Xbox. Didn't who else said that? Aaron Greenberg said that. Well, you know, all these games are going to be best on Xbox, but not really. They're going to be best on your 4090 on your PC because, you know, and
or
we already,
if it's a multi-plat on PlayStation 5.
Or is a multi-player on PlayStation 5. But the biggest thing is I understand that the PC is always going to have the power advantage. I always know that. But at least the console version in performance should at least be at what PC starts at. Like, can we at least get 60 frames per second, you know, stable frame rates, not crashing to the dashboard? Like, the reason people buy a console is so their Xbox or their PlayStation don't dashboard on them. Like, when did we get to this situation where we actually
Xbox version of Starfield should be the PC version of the game at like medium settings?
Exactly.
Like in medium settings should be at minimum like 60 FPS on PC.
1440p.
1440p at this point. That's what people expect out of PC in 2023. On console, people are going to expect, because it's Xbox, for some reason, I don't know why they push for native 4K so hard, but probably native 4K 30 and then 1440p 60. If they can do that, then there's going to be, people are going to be very, very satisfied with what the Xbox version, at least on the surface, as far as performance goes, will deliver. The bugs and all, like, we know their games are buggy, so like there's going to be a level of leeway with them because people expect a certain level of bugs from Bethesda Game Studios to a degree. If it's like I can't progress through the game because there's like a main mission story that progresses the story that's so bugged I can't complete it, like that's problematic. No, that's not good. If it's a corrupting, you know, save kind of issue where you can't even, like, you spent 15 hours in the game and now it's all gone, that's not acceptable. But if it's like, you know, the character's hands are on backwards, like, that's funny,
right? And
people are going to screenshot it and laugh. And then if they still got the ham face and weird eye situation they got going on from those trailers, people are going to laugh at it, but that's not like a huge deal. But the problem is, go ahead.
Real quick, let me get this member super chat and then I will be right back, okay? Shout out to Spencer, who's been a member for a month, saying, I say if Starfield flops, then Xbox will have a near impossible chance of making a comeback. I mean, will they ever be in their comeback era? I don't know. What's up, Stardust? I will be right back.
Yeah. Okay. So as I was saying, like, if it's if it's some game-breaking bugs, people are going to justifiably call them out for it. But because it's Bethesda Game Studios, you're going to have some level of those kind of things. You would think that after an additional year delay, I do think that if they weren't a first party of Xbox now, that the game would have came out last year. I don't think Bethesda, when they were on their own, could really afford to not release the game last year. Just, I mean, based on them doing games like Fallout 76 and Redfall that were out of their wheelhouse, but also Wolfenstein Youngblood, games that really weren't what they were like, were the kind of games that they knew were of high quality that they made and they relied on. It just seems like they were really hard up on the money side of things. Now, that said, this extra delay should make things better, should make it less buggy, but we don't know for certain. And as far as it living up to a certain level of expectations, I think that people who are hardcore into Skyrim and Elder Scrolls, Fallout, all those people, the people who love those kind of games, they're not going to care either way. They're already sold on this game. It's the casual audience that's like, I may have played a couple of their games before and they were all right, but like, it's that audience that they need to capture. The rest of not the ones they already know are booked, guaranteed, who already will pre-order it, buy it. They don't even care it's in Game Pass. They're gonna buy it anyway, right? The people who aren't those people, the extra, that's what they want. That's what Xbox wants. They want people to look at the platform and be like, damn, you see that Starfield commercial? Yo, I gotta check that out. Oh, wait, that's only on Xbox? Damn. All right, I guess I'm gonna go buy an Xbox. See, like, that's the kind of like the thought in someone's head, even if they don't go buy an Xbox right then for that, right? Then Hellblade 2 comes out. And if Hellblade 2 is fire, they already was thinking about getting one for Starfield. Then they see Hellblade 2. That's just going to further get people into the mindset of, I need to have an Xbox. And but the game, the first one, Starfield, it has to deliver in order to kind of get people into that mode of like, I need to get an Xbox because I'm missing out on all these titles that are only available in the Xbox ecosystem. All right, the silence is not good. Forte.
Yes.
Your thoughts, sir?
On what?
This topic, man.
I know, but what in particular? It's a big topic.
Oh my god. Singer. We'll move on. Singer. Forget.
Yes.
Forget
What?
that.
What?
All right.
Yes.
They were finally it took like 3 hours for Singer to get off of mute. Your thoughts?
On.
Ask the question, Slow-Mo.
Luca leaves and it just goes off.
I just said ask the question. Ask the actual question.
No, like I literally was just talking for like 5 hours, and apparently none of y'all was paying attention.
Oh no, I was listening, but you ain't asked us a direct question.
All right, here's a direct question. Metacritic score, Starfield. What is it? Forte.
88.
Don't pull a Luca and don't say
88.
not say no. 88. Okay. Singer.
89.
Xbox got to give me a good game before I'm willing to give him a 90 on anything. Is that because you don't want to give him a 90, Singer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
He
same
wanted
reason.
to
I don't
so
either,
bad.
because I feel like Starfield could be a 91 or a 92.
Yeah.
But I don't trust Xbox right now to give me
I got
anything
more
like
faith
that.
in this game that I don't believe in than y'all two. I'm gonna give it a 91.
No, yeah, go ahead. I gotta see a game come out.
Y'all out
Maybe
here
if this
all
game
acting
comes out
like
at a
it's
91,
gonna
I'll
be
give Hellblade a
everything.
94.
It's going to be everything that Xbox needs. What's the Metacritic score? Oh, 87.
Who said that?
87.
Who said that? Are you talking about us or you talking about the?
I'm
I guess
talking
the
about
trolls
y'all. I'm
out
talking about the two of you.
I never said. I just said that. I just said it needed to be. It needed to be great. I didn't say.
I'm gonna give it a 91. A 91.
You really think it's gonna come in at a 91, Slow-Mo?
Yeah, I think it's gonna come in as a 91. Because
are you gonna play it at a 91?
Heck no, I ain't playing that game. Look, it's gonna come in at 91 because games media loves some
gonna
Todd
skip the
Howard.
2 biggest games of the year, y'all. Y'all hear this?
No. I ain't skip Hogwarts Legacy. I ain't speaking.
I said the two biggest games of the year. Hogwarts Legacy gonna be the third biggest.
Speaking. I ain't skipping Final Fantasy 16 or Spider-Man.
That still ain't gonna be bigger than these two.
Care?
Well, I just said the biggest two. Name two games that's gonna be bigger than Starfield and Tears of the Kingdom this year.
I don't care.
That's all. Listen, all I'm saying is I said two, and those are the two games.
I don't care about blurry and bug, the blurriest and buggiest games of the year. I do not care about them.
Listen,
I already know Zelda's gonna win game of the year.
Slow-mo. See this.
You know what? You have an amazing camera, and the resolution and clearness of your camera is clearer than that game, huh?
See this, slow-mo? Wait, hold on. I got more.
All this money you spent.
You see this? See this? Oh, I got some more. See all this Zelda love up in this house. Wait, got another one.
Shameful.
See all this Zelda love in this house.
I mean, it's quite. How are you enjoying Zelda?
Wait, hold on. One
he ain't played the game yet. He just bought a bunch of crap.
One more.
He ain't played the game yet.
What? Wait. Where's my Switch? Hold on, where's my Switch? Did I bring my Switch downstairs?
Supposed to fall out of his chair looking for his Switch.
I'm looking for my Switch. It must be upstairs.
I did not bring it down. It must be, of course, it's upstairs.
Listen, slow-mo.
Hey, look, if your daughter is playing the game, don't be trying to like pass off your daughter's gameplay as yours the way you get Spider-Man.
Listen, hold up. Let me put the sleeve on.
What is that?
Let me put the sleeve on.
That's Link's arm.
Let me put the sleeve on. Let me get my cutting board. You know, my cutting board. Let me get all my Zelda
Have
stuff
you played the game?
Yeah, I put 11 hours in. I want to
know.
Okay, nice. What are your thoughts on it so far?
I love that game. Dude, the moment, I mean, they like to troll you at the beginning because they got you walking through these caverns and then you see all the red hearts in the top corner. And I'm like, man, this is about to go bad. Because it's something about because I'm walking around with a massive.
Don't spoil the start.
The start? Oh, I ain't gonna say yeah. I'll just say it's all going bad. So, dude, the game is amazing. The first time you drop out of the sky,
magical.
They do the little intro screen thing, and I'm like, oh man, they got me. And they ain't even using the traditional Zelda music at this point. It's like the original soundtrack music. And I'm like, this is so good. And then it's just like it plays well, and the fact that you could just like your ability with the arm to be able to craft anything you pretty much can think of is game changing. Like I said, it fixes a lot of issues. It's like Nintendo was like, we're gonna keep all the stuff in the game that people don't like, but we're gonna let you be able to do it better, so you don't have to even really worry about it. And it was ingenious. And then the map is just like when you get the slate and you start looking at the map and you realize that, oh, this is just the ground level. There's a whole world above it and a whole world underneath it. That's
a bit of a spoiler. Nautical.
That's not a spoiler. They literally talk about that. It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. The game is awesome. I'm 11 in, really enjoying it. Take your time with it because there's a lot of different places you could go, a lot of secret areas and stuff like that. Certain items you can get really early in the game if you just look for them. But in general, the game is just fantastic and it deserves all of the reviews that it's getting. I always tell people like this game is what Breath of the Wild should have been in 2017. It literally it's like if you played Breath of the Wild after this, you won't even want to finish Breath of the Wild because this game it fixes all of the issues you ever had in it. So
hey,
I'm enjoying.
1 second.
Yeah.
You're saying the exact same shit I said. Yes, sir. You know what's up.
Oh, yeah, dude. I've been saying that for a while. I always tell people there's 3 things they need to fix in the game. They need to fix the durability system. They kind of did that by giving you the ability to transform characters and stuff. Then they give you the ability to kind of bypass your stamina bar by being able to, ascend through rooftops and stuff like that. And then they gave you the ability, not even the ability, they give you dungeons And I'm sitting there like, that's what we were all missing. And then they just left everything else in there, and the world feels more populated, more full. And then the scale and the draw distance, even though you're looking at it on the Switch at 720p, it still looks amazing. It still looks good. And if you see it, you can go there. Like when you first fall down out of the sky and you look up where you came from, you can literally see this island up there. It is far as heck away. It looks good, man. It looks so good.
That's great, man. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. As for the Starfield conversation, I'm not giving a Metacritic score because I'm not about to take any L's.
I knew it. I told y'all she was going to do that.
I mean, I don't know why you're acting like
just
it's
give a number.
Brand
just give
new
a number.
thing since I do this all the time.
Just do a
Nope.
number.
Nope.
2 numbers together.
One
number.
Nope.
And
the only
multiply
L I
it by
picked is
10.
the one in my name. All right. What was I gonna say? Here's the thing. So the only reason Slomo's giving it a high Metacritic score is because he's being a little goober. He's being a little silly goose right now. He doesn't actually have any faith in the game. So
What? I have more faith in this game than everybody on this panel.
no, you don't.
Not
you
true.
don't have any.
No,
faith.
no. That is definitely
You're
not
just
true.
being a silly little siller.
Because I believe in God Howard. And his
Todd
sweet
Howard,
little
one of my
lies.
favorite liars.
Yep. His sweet little lies, but I don't think he's lying about Starfield.
All right. Well. Okay. Okay. So, did anything else happen this week we should be concerned about? Let me see.
I forgot the name already. Deviation Games laid off 90 employees.
All right.
yesterday.
Go ahead and talk about that if you please.
Okay, so Deviation Games is a new studio. They've never dropped a game before. They're
A new studio?
Brand new studio.
Oh, that's weird.
They still got that new car smell, but now it smelled like a little bit like a dog been in it for a little while. But anyway,
Interesting.
they announced the formation of the studio, they also announced a partnership with PlayStation and said they'd be working on a first-person shooter that will be exclusive to the PS5. This was last year. Pretty much kind of around the same time that the whole ABK stuff was going down, and maybe Sony thought they might be losing Call of Duty, so they made a deal. Who knows, right? Anyway, so fast forward to yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Say Saturday, right? Yeah, yesterday. So a lot of they haven't announced this, and Sony hasn't announced this, although Sony probably wouldn't because they don't own them. But a bunch of the Deviation Games developers all on LinkedIn started talking about how they just got laid off, and these are people in very serious roles, like principal developer kind of roles, director kind of roles, kind of stuff, right? Not your janitor, not the QA guy, like serious people. And they said that all around a development studio of 150 laid off 90 people, so they're down to 60. A lot of people are kind of predicting that it looks like PlayStation saw a vertical slice of the game, did an internal review, said, "Yo, this is garbage.
Get them the fuck up out of here.
Get this. This is not happening." And they pulled the game, and we all know how this goes. A lot of studios, the reason why they even have the number of people that they have is due to the funding on the game. And if you lose funding on the game, you gotta look at the numbers and be like, "Well, we don't need all these people." And so you start laying people off. Now, it doesn't mean that Deviation is completely going under or anything like that. They may have a secondary project that they're also working on, which is the reason why maybe they still have 50 people or so left to still do work. But it does look like the AAA game they were working on. You can't do a AAA game like that with 50 people, 50, 60 people. Looks like that game for PlayStation is no longer happening. And I kind of, maybe throw it out there potentially that this ABK deal don't look like it's going through. Sony was like, our need for you ain't as big as it was a year ago. So what you got for us? So that's it. That's it. They ain't looking too hot. You can go now. So it's not as imperative that this game is going to be a legit competitor to a game that they're definitely still going to have on their platform, and therefore it's out of here. So it's typical business, I would say, that happens in the gaming industry. It's just that's a little bit more open because devs are talking about it.
I see. So Redder says they didn't get laid off. The studio deviated. I don't.
I think he's making a joke.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's a nice play on the name. Deviation.
Oh, okay. That's clever. I like that. See you later, Spencer. So, well, I mean, listen, good luck to those developers, and I hope they can find employment soon. You know, I'm an unemployed gang right here with them. So, all right, let's see here. What? Oh, and then some people, Texas and Froggy, and then someone earlier as well. They want to talk about the Asus ROG, the ROG Ally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ROG Ally.
Yes, the new handheld.
All right, go ahead. Slomo, you were gonna buy it, but then you canceled your pre-order.
Yeah, I think Forte doesn't know he's muted.
Yeah, you're muted, my boy. Yeah, you've been muted for like the past.
Yeah, you're still muted.
Hit the right button.
You're still muted.
Come on, Forte, you can do this.
Come on.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, I thought I muted myself on my mixer. I actually muted myself in here too.
Spell Pepsi.
No, because
no.
No.
What you mean no?
Because you know what I'm gonna do if I do it, and it's gonna look bad on here.
Okay, so Asus ROG Ally.
Okay,
EIPSI.
Okay, so Asus ROG Ally.
Yeah,
no, trash.
It's not trash.
It's made by Asus,
and it just has a battery life of 2 seconds. That's all.
It's
Say
pretty
what?
powerful, though, right? Yeah.
It's not you gonna buy that thing and not get
2
no support
hours.
from Asus on the back end.
No. Actually, I can't take the Asus slander because I have had multiple of their products and they have always been good to me.
Well,
so
have you had to use their customer service this year?
I have.
That's not good.
This year?
Yes.
For what?
Oh no, not this year. Last year.
That's what I'm talking about. I said this year like 3 times.
Yeah,
but
bear in mind, my customer support is over here. Yours is over there. So your customer support.
That's fair.
Might be trash.
No,
my
it's
customer support might not.
Support still sucks.
No. But like speaking, like the way people have said they speak to Microsoft customer service in America, I speak to Microsoft customer service over here. It's an entirely different thing.
You're talking in general, but I'm talking about Asus specifically. Okay,
yeah,
so
Asus over here.
Asus right now is basically they got motherboards out here that are frying people's CPUs.
And I think that's a fair point, but your point was about specifically customer service. And when you asked him that, he's got a different customer service in comparison. So I think that's fair if his experiences have been different.
What I'm saying.
I don't trust
okay,
I didn't finish my statement, Luca.
I'm talking about your initial question to him.
Okay, I was clarifying it, and you
were clarifying it after he gave a simple answer, and then you were like, "No, I'm talking in general."
Yeah, no. That's what I said. And I'm going to
just incorrect, but all right, go ahead.
I just need to finish my statement.
Go ahead and finish your statement, then, baby.
Okay, thank you. Worldwide, okay, not just in the United States, but worldwide, Asus is recommending people use a beta firmware to fix a motherboard issue that still isn't fixing the issue. And if you choose to use that beta firmware, they're going to void your warranty. That's not a United States thing or Australia thing, or it's a company-wide, worldwide thing.
Specifically about the customer service.
But
not
I rang them up.
But that's a part of customer service. If your motherboard is fried, and then also your CPU is fried, and you go to customer service, they're going to tell you kick rocks.
I rang them up about my monitor, and they were perfectly fine with me and gave me a replacement.
When was this again? I say
that
not
was last
this year.
year.
Again, I say
last year.
This stuff is starting this year. I say.
Oh man!
Look.
So did they just start sucking at customer service this year?
Yeah. Well, they've been progressively getting worse, but now they're definitely like in the pits right now.
Okay, all I'm saying that when it comes to customer service specifically, he's explaining his experiences in comparison to yours, okay?
Well,
relative to the fact that he lives in a different
I've never had
country.
any issues.
He lives.
With
okay,
but now,
me either.
But I'm
scared
looking
now,
for
though.
a new motherboard. I'm a little scared now. I don't want to really buy their products if this is how they treating people.
That's why you use an MSI motherboard.
Listen, I
MSI is worse.
Yeah, it's
MSI is awful, man.
Listen,
that is true. I have a gigabyte.
Listen, and this comes from like people that actually like. I love Asus. I love Asus. They make some of the prettiest motherboards, some of the best high end stuff. It's amazing. It's great, but this situation, like as soon as I saw this, I was watching some videos and I saw the videos, everything. I was like, this don't make me want this Ally no more. Because it makes me not want to support Asus due to what's going on with this.
I think
if
you're going to
something happens with it, what is their response going to be?
What's the response? And then on top of it, we're talking about stuff like this. Look, motherboard, $450. This is almost close to what the price of that freaking that ROG ROG. Look, this is the way it's in my PC now.
Was there an actual motherboard?
I love Asus. Asus is great. I love their products. I've never had an issue with anything. Me and Slow Mo were talking on the phone, texting back and forth, all about oh, maybe I'm gonna get this motherboard, maybe I'm gonna get that one. And then all of a sudden he starts sending me links of videos. Said I think I just changed my mind, and I go look at the videos. I'm like, oh no.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh no.
Your loyalty to Asus is more than mine because I only ever had monitors off them because the only motherboards I trust are Gigabyte.
That's fair.
That's what I currently have. So I've never used Asus for my PC outside of the monitor. So I understand that. I'm just saying this has nothing to do with the ROG Ally.
You see this? What is that logo, Singer?
It's all the same company.
Logo. What is that Singer logo? What is that Singer? What is that logo? You see it?
I can't see it clearly. Oh.
ROG,
it's
man.
that Nintendo Switch Revolution.
Yeah,
ROG.
It's because it was all black.
Asus
all black
motherboard.
On black.
Like, I love Asus. I have everything. The only thing not Asus on my desk right now is my monitors.
All right, so
well, why?
We're not. Okay, so you guys are not getting this system.
To go back to the ROG Ally, like it's more powerful than a Steam Deck, way more powerful than a Nintendo Switch. The pricing is pretty decent for the kind of hardware, and in this fact that it's a handheld. It seems to be, if you're someone that wanted a Steam Deck but then saw all the hoops you have to jump through to get Xbox games working on it through xCloud, or to emulate some Nintendo games, right? You may be like, I don't really think I want to do all that stuff. But then you see this Ally, and it's a way more streamlined. That you could play all your games through Steam, through Epic Games Store, the Xbox app, GOG, all the launchers. You can just and they have Armor Crate, which is they're like a kind of like version of Steam OS a little bit, or at least the Steam app.
I love
where
Armor
it will
Crate.
collect all your games in there, and you can launch them through there. All that is very good, although it seems like from what I saw from reviews, a lot of the games, the performance isn't quite what Asus said it would be. If you want to play it at 1080p with max settings, you're not going to be getting the frame rates that they claim that you're going to be getting. You're also not going to get the very good battery life with that. If you are, you're basically going to have to turn some settings down, and then essentially I've seen some reviews say, then like, what's the difference between this and the Steam Deck at this point? So sure. I think it's also a bit presumptuous of them, because Steam Deck, they're comparing the Ally today to Steam Deck today, but Steam Deck a year ago didn't have this kind of performance either. Games are coming out on Steam Deck that are optimized for the Steam Deck, whereas nothing so far from the reviews are games that have been optimized to work on this Asus handheld. So don't take all those reviews that are showing performance and thinking that's how it's always going to be. It's probably going to get better as games start coming out, as developers go and see that this is another actual handheld that's out there that people can play a game on. They can actually optimize their game for, have optimized settings for that game. All that said, yeah, you could go to Best Buy and get the Best Buy warranty if Best Buy offers it for this, because
Probably
Best Buy
not.
has changed things. They don't offer warranties on GPUs no more. They don't offer warranties on specific items anymore. So they may not offer a warranty on this. So, you know, kind of you're going to have to do your due diligence on that part. But
it's still able. You're still able to pre-order it, by the way, on their website.
Yeah, so I don't think it's selling that great because you're still able. It has not sold out at all for pre-order.
It's a bit expensive.
At no point.
My thing is with the ROG Ally, I'm looking forward to it because for one, it has a native Xbox app. I don't have to do all the things I have to do on Steam Deck. It looks good, judging from having spoke with Cog who got hands-on, and from what has been said, and shout out to them for doing great coverage. I am interested, but I am waiting for people to go hands-on and show what it can do. Then I'll make my purchase decision. I'm not just going to pre-order it, so I'm going to wait and see. And if I like what I see, then I'll just pick it up because it's it's just going to be one of those things. I don't have a problem with Asus.
Brian says ROG Ally is better than the Steam Deck, just like how Series X is more powerful than PS5 on paper. And also, like, please don't insult my panel. I would appreciate that. Let's be mindful of what kind of insults you're throwing out there, because I don't like that shit. Thank you. Right. Thank you very much. Just because he comes through in a fucking Mario hat, who cares? You know what I'm saying? We're all into different things, man. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I think he was
a Splatoon, like eyes on his head. Who knows? I mean, we all like different things. You know what I'm saying? Just because he comes in with a Yoshi onesie, we all enjoy different things. You know what I'm saying? So.
Hey man, I mean, being an Asus, I don't think you could be an Asus corporate slave. I don't think that don't exist.
There are some out there. They have cultivated on the PC gaming side a very faithful community based off of I would say a prior level of quality they had years ago when it came to things like motherboards, when it came to their GPUs, when it came to their monitors and stuff like that. They've been associated. That name has been associated with quality on the PC side of things. So it's a bit jarring when you see them kind of like resting on their laurels and kind of taking advantage of the people that have spent a lot of money on their products.
I mean, a brand using their good name to sell a terrible product, not really surprising at all. And I get that from, I watch this channel called Rose Anvil, and I watch him cut apart boots. And that's what I spend my free time doing. Anyway, we can just move on from that.
Wait, before you move on. Okay, so the biggest thing so outside of just the ROG, because I wanted to get this Steam Deck, the Ally. My biggest thing is it doesn't give you the same upgrade path as the Steam Deck does.
Okay.
Like the fact that you can pretty much change out almost every component inside the Steam Deck. If something goes wrong with a component, is amazing. Whereas a good 70% of the Ally, if something was to go wrong, you either have to send it in to get service and have to deal with Asus's, ROG at that point, or void your warranty and fix it yourself. Which is, I think, great that they allow you to do that. But, if you want to upgrade your RAM, you have to, it's soldered to the board, so you can't do that. If you have a thumbstick that goes out,
that's true for the Ally. You can't upgrade your RAM if you want to.
No, because it's soldered to the daughter board.
Wow,
it's soldered, really?
It's soldered to the board.
Wow,
so it's like
so it doesn't offer a customization like the Steam Deck. Like
not the Steam, and that's.
Dang,
and he disappeared.
I was about to say,
my bad. That was me. No, that was me. My bad. That was me. My bad. I'm sorry.
Look at him
like cut his mic. Get him out. No, I mean, look, that's a negative as far as I'm concerned, because when we're talking about a device that plays PC games, and when you're dealing with the PC community, you're looking at someone that's probably, and I would say some Xbox gamers that may want like the experience that people get from a Nintendo Switch, where they can kind of take their games on the go.
Right.
So you're gonna get some people there who are also interested in it. But the PC side of things, they're going to want to upgrade things over time. Like this isn't a device they're going to only want to play for a year and then let it collect dust, because like as things progress and you need, and as they do, you need more RAM. At once upon a time, 8 gigs of RAM was all you needed to play current games on PC. Then it was 16.
You still can.
Now, not well, but then it was 16.
Actually.
No, not well, Singer. Stop it.
We tested Elden Ring on 8 gigs of RAM, and it was a completely playable experience.
Define playable.
Running at a good frame rate, no hitching. You can run around the world, do everything
What was the frame rate? What was the frame rate?
We turned down a lot of settings.
Okay. So it's like played on low preset.
No, it was on medium settings. Medium settings. And we were getting 60 FPS.
Oh my God. Okay. I would like to see that. But look, primarily now it's beyond 16. Now you need 32 gigs of RAM to play new AAA games on PC. Like over time, you end up needing more in order to keep up with the Joneses. And if you can't switch out your RAM in this thing, that sounds to me like Asus is going to say, like, if you're man, this Ally ain't really hitting like it used to be. Asus will be like, hey, we have a product for you. It's the Asus Ally ROG 3.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Well, I think all of you offered great insight on this. I thought it looks pretty cool, but like if I'm gonna get anything, it'd be a Steam Deck. But I don't need a Steam Deck, so.
No,
all right,
you don't.
so let me go ahead and do channel member topics.
Channel members.
Okay, so shout out to Derek Radcliffe, who says, I would like for you to talk about the Xbox and PlayStation fans. Can't take that Nintendo runs circles around the other consoles with old tech. I feel like Zelda gave them a bitter reminder that at the end of the day, PlayStation and Xbox are fighting for second place. I mean, to be fair, Xbox is in third place always. So I don't know, this fighting for second place, let's be for real here. But I think you're right. I mean, listen, I did see some Xbox boys and I did see some PlayStation boys being in their feelings about the Zelda scoring the way that it did. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I don't know why you guys are upset. It's fucking Zelda, dude. It's fucking Nintendo. Like, you just got to accept that at the end of the day, their fans are going to buy the IP, okay? And their fans are going to show up and show out, okay? And their games are going to, some of their games are going to score in the 90s. Like,
and all their games are going to sell 10 million plus.
Exactly. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think
10
it's
million.
very
well. I was being modest there. It's probably closer to 25, 30.
Right.
I think they're salty little salters. I think they're little bitter both. They're just bitter about it because they can't handle Nintendo supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Am I a Nintendo boy? No. But I can acknowledge and accept reality, and that reality is Nintendo is the dominant factor. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they are when it comes, the fact that people are willing to excuse certain things that they wouldn't excuse from PlayStation and Microsoft, we've talked about it for years. Like, it's very silly, very ridiculous, but it is what it is.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I just saw GQ's top 100 games, and the game that's number 100 just triggered me. I'm sorry. Continue.
You said GQ?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So shout out. Oh, and then I think when we go on over this list, we reiterate that, Derek. So thank you. Listen, of course, Nintendo supremacy. Shout out to Stank Moss saying, have you seen the Saint Seiya, the live action Saint Seiya movie? If so, thoughts? I've not seen the live action Saint Seiya movie. I don't watch live action anime. The only ones I've watched, unfortunately, I watched the Netflix Death Note, but I watched that with friends, so it was a fun time. I watched the live action Death Note in Japan. I watched the live action Sailor Moon. That was pretty good. I think it was a show or something, but
There was a live action Sailor Moon?
Yeah. Oh God.
I didn't know that.
How long ago was that?
It was back when I was like in middle school.
Oh, okay. That's been a while then. Okay.
Yeah. It was called Pretty Guardians Sailor Moon. It had 1 season. So.
Oh, I'm triggered.
49 episodes.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
You saw it too, Singer?
I just saw the top
That's
100 list. No,
this list should be thrown into the bushes.
We're gonna go over
absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, it's their opinion.
100?
Okay.
No, it's not. That's not an opinion.
That
That's
is their opinion.
No.
Okay. So
No, that's not an
so
opinion.
I've not seen it sync ma, but I'll put it on the list if you think it's good. Shout out to Phil saying, I rewatched the Scream movies. Shout out to you, my boy. After recently watching Scream 5 and 6 back to back. 3 is still straight unwatchable. Shout out to Deli. And while 4 kept my attention all the way through, I still thought it was ass, and my ranking of the movies remained the same in the end. 6, 1, 5, 2, 4, 3. To my surprise on Reddit, people actually feel that 4 is the best one, if not the best. I'm assuming that's how it ended. Okay, so here's my ranking. Let me pull it up.
Weird. Yeah.
I personally really enjoy 4. I had a really good time with it. I really, really like it. So my Scream ranking is this. Okay. My Scream ranking is Scream 6, Scream 4, Scream 2, Scream 2022, Scream, and then Scream 3. Now, when it comes to Scream 1 being so low on the list, I'll explain it like this. Scream 1 came out when I was like 2, maybe? When did it come out? 1995?
A little bit later than that. I think Scream came out like 97 or something like that.
97? Scream.
Hold up. It came out in
1996. So we were, I mean, we were almost there. Anyway, I was 3 when Scream 1996 came out. By the time I watched Scream, like I would have been a teenager and I would have seen other things that had copied the Scream formula. So Scream wasn't original to me. I didn't watch it as a teenager like Slow-Mo did, like Hard 8 did, because he made a mention of it when I did my tier list. Like I wasn't watching it as a teen who had never seen it before. I was watching it as a teenager who had seen other things copy it. It's the same where I watched the first Alien and I was like, this shit is fucking boring. But I watched Alien like a couple years ago. I didn't watch it when it came out. You know what I'm saying? So my experience with it would be different from others. And that's why the original Scream is so low on my list, because I just enjoyed the newer versions of Scream more. Scream 3 did not hold my attention very well. It's still, I would say it's a good film. It's funny, but it didn't really hold my attention. I recently rewatched Scream 2022, and I think that's a very good movie, but I prefer Scream 2. I think Scream 2 is excellent. And Scream 4, I really like Scream 4, mostly for the Ghostface reveal in Scream 4. The fact that, like, I watched it knowing that Jill was the killer, and as I watched it, I was, like, looking for cues to tell, like, okay, did she give herself away? And she did, actually. So I like that aspect of Scream 4. And then Scream 6, I've seen it 4 times. I actually just rewatched it on Thursday with my friend. And I Scream 6 is just fucking excellent. So that's my ranking. And yeah, people love Scream 4. And I think a lot of it has to do with Joe, because I think people were caught off guard with that when they first watched it. Because you don't expect the quote unquote new Sydney, right? The new, who you think is going to be the new final girl, to turn out to be the killer. So,
mine has been Scream 1, Scream 2, then Scream 6. Then Scream 5, then Scream 4, and then Scream 3. We agree that Scream 3 is the worst one. I think everyone universally agrees about that, except for a few people. I still think Scream 1 is the best. I think it's more to do than just that. Like, I mean, I was old enough to appreciate it when it came out, but it's like it did revolutionize how slasher films were done. Yeah. And prior to that, there was no other slasher film that ever had 2 killers. And so the reveal of that at the end threw the entire audience for a loop, because everyone just assumed it's got to be one person. And so when Stu went and attacked Sydney while Billy was in custody, it got Billy off the hook for the entire audience. Well, it can't be Billy because City just got attacked by Ghostface, but it's 2 of them. So it's like that doesn't work as well, of course, when you've seen 3 or 4 Scream movies already, and all of them except for one only has 2 killers. It doesn't work as well. But the fact that I think it still deserves respect for what it did.
Absolutely.
Because without
and I
it,
agree with that.
none of the other stuff would even be there. Scream 2, I just enjoyed thoroughly. Just the one-liners, the the talking trash to the killer and then dying 5 seconds later. All of it was great to me. I think Scream 6 is third for me because the third act just makes no sense. It's just people doing really dumb stuff.
But I like the third act solely for Sam and Tara and what they ended up doing, not for the Ghostface. So.
But it was just more than that. It was freaking Hayden Panettiere taking 20 bullets to the face and still living.
Oh, spoiler warning! Yeah.
But I think it came out how long? It's been a while.
I'm waiting for the 4K Blu-ray, Slow-Mo.
Oh, okay. Well, that's on them for waiting this long and expecting not to get spoiled. You should know better. But just okay, I'll say it like this: characters getting stabbed the f up by 20 people. They river dancing on characters' face.
I think that's fair. No, that's fair. I think that's a fair point.
So I think it was number one for me up until the final act. Scream 5 I'm cool with. I like Scream 5. Actually,
Scream 5 is very funny.
Yeah.
And Scream 5 also has one excellent Ghostface. I don't know about the other one.
Right. Now Scream 4, the reason why Scream 4 is so low for me is that I did not feel I forgot Sydney's cousin. I can't remember her name.
Emma Roberts, Joe.
Yeah, I didn't feel her motivation to do what she did at all. And a lot of the other Ghostface, I mean, they're all crazy, but you all kind of when they explain why they did what they did, they're either you're just batshit insane, or you have a grudge against Sydney, or the two sisters or whoever. Right? There's a reason for it. Her reason is just I want to be famous, and I'm tired. I'm jealous of my famous cousin. What?
Yeah, I think for me personally, I think it actually does. It works now, given what people will do to be popular right now. Back when you saw it, that was a little bit less prevalent. So maybe it was just it didn't resonate with you, but it resonates with me because I literally watch stupid shit like people opening shit in stores and spitting in it and putting it on TikTok for views. I literally just saw someone jump out of a plane for TikTok.
I saw that. Views. Yeah, he crashed the plane and now he's going to jail.
Now he's going to jail. So people in this day and age will do crazy things to be popular. So that's why it resonated with me because I just recently watched it. So.
And now that you mentioned that, I just remembered a story I read from back in January where I think this happened in England, where a woman murdered another woman who looked similar to her. Her and her boyfriend murdered this woman and then disfigured her so much that people thought it was her so that she could get sympathy for dying while she was actually still alive and hiding somewhere else. And this literally really happened. She set this girl up because they were both influencers on Instagram, and she was like, "Oh, I keep hearing that you look like me. We should link up and collab together or something." And when they linked up, they killed the girl, disfigured her, and then faked her own death for attention. So
these people are
that's crazy.
They're
people
crazy
out there, right?
Jill Roberts would love this day and age. She 100%. So that's why it resonated with me because I've seen people do crazy shit for attention online. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, all right, let's do so. Shout out to you, Phil. Hope you enjoyed this segment. Yeah, I love that part too, Phil. Charlie was Charlie was brutal, but dude was definitely a fucking loser. What a loser. All right, let's see here. Shout out to Slow-Mo Backslap saying, why are people so rude when they don't answer the phone? And why are people a substitute for Luca? So this is what happened, right? I was calling Slow-Mo out for him never calling me back when he said he would, right? And last night I went to bed around 9 p.m. because I like to get sleep. Okay.
So what?
I like to get sleep.
Still doesn't stop you from calling me at like 12:30 in the morning because some drama popped off. But continue.
If there's drama, I'm awake. Okay, if like that's if there's drama, I'm awake. But I went to bed at 9:00 last night, and Slow-Mo called me at 10:05 and then 10:06, and clearly I was sleeping. So I missed his
back-to-back calls.
Yeah, I was back to back. So.
But
I caught him.
Where was she when I needed her?
Asleep.
Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found.
So, I don't think you needed me because you never mentioned. I called him back today. You never mentioned why he called me. So
I could have been dying. It was gonna be my
You're
last.
not gonna call me if you're dying.
If you're dying, you could have called. You ain't gonna call me.
I'm gonna be the last thought in your fucking head if you're dying, brother.
Elizabeth, I'm coming.
All right. Let's see here. So, I feel like this is gonna be. Okay, let's do Jay Barry's because I was like, I feel like that's gonna be a longer topic, but we'll just do this one. All right. So Jay Barry wants to talk about GQ.
Go to 100.
100.
These people committed war crimes. They're villains. They need to be arrested.
100.
All right, so he wants to talk about GQ's top 100 games of 100 greatest games of all time, ranked by experts. Oh,
what
experts in what?
Experts in stupidity. Experts in nothing. Experts in eating dog crap off the sidewalk is what you're experts in.
Games columnist since 2016, writing regular coverage of interacting games. Okay.
Leaky said Xbox got to be the game that's at 100.
Rod Liedman is a British GQ senior commerce editor. Oh my god, my back hurts just reading this. All right, so anyway, quote unquote experts in games. So at the end of the day, again, guys, these are their opinions.
Don't give them out.
These are opinions. We're all allowed to have different opinions on things. Okay, it doesn't make them bad people.
They're terrible people.
Exactly, Texas. I definitely pop off.
They are villains. These guys need to be arrested.
Knights of the Old Republic at 100.
They need to be thrown in jail.
Wow,
exactly.
I thought it would be higher. Okay, Knights of the Old Republic
at 100.
Rez, Age of Empires 2: The Age of Kings.
That needs to be higher.
The Return of Oberyn Digim.
Super Mario Brothers at
96.
What is this? That needs to be higher.
Okay, Ultima Underworld.
Okami is above Mario.
Mass Effect is at 92.
Wait, that's probably the most valid one right there because if you see how far Mass Effect 2 is up there, it just leans value to our points about which one is better.
4 at 91.
Super
Mario Kart's 90. This is stupid.
Hitman World of Assassination.
Stop at 88.
Hitman should be at the very bottom of it. It shouldn't be on this
list.
Stop
Guardian.
Stop right there.
How is The Last Guardian above?
Why is The Last Guardian even on this list?
I mean, it's their opinion. So, Super Mario Odyssey 2017, Civilization 5, Final Fantasy. Which Final Fantasy is this?
Reborn.
That's 14.
That's 14.
A Realm Reborn.
Luca confirmed can't
should
read
definitely
Roman
be higher.
numerals.
I can't read Roman numerals. Actually, I cannot. This is not the first time I've demonstrated my inability to read Roman numerals, so I don't know why you're.
He told you, Slow-Mo.
Brand new. I've multiple times on the show actually. Shenmue, 1999, BioShock Infinite, which I recently played last
year.
Dragon
Age Origins, Fortnite
needs to be higher.
Firewatch, Tetris Effect, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
How is Pro Skater 2?
Monkey Island, Pokemon Gold and Silver, Metroid Prime, Undertale, Final Fantasy
6.
Final Fantasy 6 is
that low?
Yakuza 0.
Oh my God.
Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
That should be higher too.
Left 4 Dead 2. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. It
should be higher
too.
Thief, The Dark Project, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Fallout New Vegas, GoldenEye,
higher.
Persona 5.
Stop right there for a second. Persona 5 is 64.
Yeah.
But Final Fantasy 6 is how far back?
Is so far back as can't even be seen in the rearview mirror.
need to have a word with these people. Yo.
The Sims 2.
Oh no, I didn't even see that one. Why is that? That shit,
Oh my
if
god.
it makes the
Holy
list, it
shit.
should be 100.
Sims 2. Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Great game.
Grand Theft Auto 3. Super Metroid. Fallout 3 at 59.
Oh my god.
That needs to be below
The Elder
New
Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Final
Higher.
Fantasy
9.
9. Okay. Inside. Hollow Knight.
Oh my god.
Ico?
Oh yeah, Ico. Dishonored 2,
which
Why?
I played last year. Excellent game.
It is a good game.
Half-Life. Final Fantasy 10.
10.
Final Fantasy. So they think Final Fantasy 10 is
10
better
is
than
better
Final
than
Fantasy
6.
6.
And 6 is
Spelunky?
the best one ever. I feel.
Stardew Valley. Grand Theft Auto 5. God of War 2018. Destiny.
Destiny's
Halo
better
3.
than God. Oh my god.
The Elder Scrolls 3. Morrowind.
How is
Nier
Halo 3 so
Automata.
low?
Near Automata.
Chrono
Trigger 42.
The Sims. Super Mario Galaxy.
42 was Chrono Trigger.
What
Yeah,
Remains
42.
of Edith Finch? I played that last year. Very depressing game.
What Remains of
Um,
Edith Finch is better than Chrono Trigger?
Hades.
love
Silent
Hades.
Hill 2. Super Mario Bros. 3. Portal. Uncharted 2 Among Thieves.
I feel like Porter should be
Metal
top 10.
Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Deus Ex. Shadow
Should
of
be
Colossus.
Ter-
The Outer Wilds.
The Outer Wilds? Is it,
I'm
why
sorry,
is it
Outer
on the
Wilds.
list?
Journey. The Last of Us Part 2. Street Fighter 2. The Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past. Pokemon Red and Blue. Minecraft. BioShock. World of Warcraft. Halo
for this-
Combat Involved.
21.
Elden Ring at 20.
Elden Ring
Original
is...
Doom at 19. Super Mario 64. Final Fantasy 8?
7.
7? Okay.
7.
Final Fantasy 7. The Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. Red Dead Redemption 2. Super Mario World 1990. Oh, I really like Super Mario World 1990. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Disco
Disco Elysium is...
Resident
Above
Evil
Zelda.
4.
Can't believe it.
Half-Life 2.
Great.
Dark Souls. Portal 2. Metal Gear Solid. Mass Effect 2.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Bloodborne. Tetris. The Last of Us. And Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
I could name 6 games that should be higher than Bloodborne.
I could rewrite this
First
entire
of all,
top.
watch your fucking tongue. All right, so if I were to for their top 10, I will say that for their top 10, I have no issues with Dark Souls, Mass Effect 2, The Witcher 3, or Bloodborne being on this list because those are all excellent games. As for the rest of these,
I don't have a
okay.
problem with Portal. Portal 2 being up
yeah.
there. I think Portal 2 should be there.
I have a problem with every single one because for one, for one,
What, in
Breath of
the
the Wild
order or just them being there?
to just be in there.
Okay,
Because
just being there.
in the top 10, it shouldn't be Breath of the Wild. It should be Ocarina of Time. And
I
that's
agree.
A fact,
I agree.
right?
that is
Then
your
you
opinion.
need- No, that's a fact.
Ocarina of Time is just only the greatest Zelda game ever made.
Yeah, like Ocarina of Time has to be there. You could take all of them out. You can then put in Portal. You could probably put in Knights of the Old Republic. You can also you have to put
Okay,
in
well,
Halo.
let me stop you there because Bari also continued with the question asking, "What are your thoughts and what are your top 5 games of all time?" My thoughts are these are these dudes' opinions. I don't know about them calling themselves experts. Like, who really is an expert or shit, right? But overall,
Right.
it's their opinion. I don't fucking care.
Hey, can you scroll up to 12 real quick?
Go to 12 real quick.
Okay.
Disco
Elysium is the 12th best game ever, according to them.
Okay.
I beat this game. I got the true ending. You know, I didn't get the ending that some people got because they didn't complete things well. I got the true ending to this game. It is a great game. Absolutely a great game. It does not deserve to even be on the list. And I think these tadpoles that made this list, like they clearly the addition of Disco Elysium tells me that they became gamers like 5 days ago.
No.
And-
PS3 era is when they became gamers because there was no way they have to have been.
They have ideas about games.
It's not their fault that they're born later, so there's that.
Well, it is their fault for calling themselves experts, and they don't.
Yeah,
have
I mean, I
any
agree
kind
with
of,
you on the expert part.
Yeah, like this is just ridiculous. This again, great game. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it doesn't deserve to even be in the top 100.
Okay,
At all.
well,
So it's like,
Bari wants us to list our top 5 games of all time, so I'll go first because I already wrote mine out. But my top 5 games are Mass Effect 2, Dragon Age 2, The Witcher 3, Bloodborne, and Sekiro.
My top 5 is number 1 is Chrono Trigger, number 2 Mass Effect 2, number 3 Dragon Age Origins, number 4 Final Fantasy 6, and number 5 is Borderlands 2, which somehow wasn't even on the top 100 list that these freaking amoebas made. Freaking collection of cells that haven't even turned into a human being yet. Go ahead, my bad.
Okay, Singer.
Okay, top 5 is no particular order because I can't order them off the top of my head. I'd have to sit down and think about it. Knights of the Old Republic, Ocarina of Time, Halo 3. Then I would also put in Mass Effect 2, and I'll also put in. That's 4, yeah? I listed 4. And Final Fantasy 7.
All right,
That's my top 5.
Mass Effect 2 is number 1. Ocarina of Time is number 2. Halo 3 is number 3. 4. Oh man, so many games. I jump back and forth with 4. 4 for me personally, I think oh my god, I can't even think of. Wow, I can't even. I'm drawing a blank right now. Final Fantasy. I know Final Fantasy 6 is 5. I'm trying to remember with 4 because 4 I go back and forth on.
4 was 2 in America.
Yeah, 4 was 2 in America.
And then 3 in America was 6. And then they got on the same number track worldwide with 7.
So stupid, but yeah.
Also, Final Fantasy Tactics wasn't on the list at all. And Final Fantasy Tactics is one of the best RPGs ever and one of the best RPGs Square ever made. But I wouldn't even surprise me if the 2 guys who made this list have never even heard of Final Fantasy Tactics.
So it would be Mass Effect 2, Ocarina of Time, Halo 3, Final Fantasy 6, and Final Fantasy 6 is 5, and BioShock Infinite is 4. I love BioShock Infinite.
I just ordered them, so I'll give my official list now that I ordered them in my head. So KOTOR number 1, Ocarina of Time number 2, Halo 3 number 3, then
Halo 3.
Mass Effect 2 is number 4. And then Final Fantasy 7 is number 5.
I think the only thing they did right on this list was put Mass Effect, the first Mass Effect, far away from Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect's pretty good, man.
Mass Effect 1 was number 6 and 2 was 92. At least it was in the top. I felt like all 3 of them should have been in the top 10. I mean, not the top 10, but in the top 100.
Yeah.
But there's so many games missing off this list. That wasn't even. It's like I could just breathe and think of games that should have been on this list, like that they just excluded. Just really good games.
0 was in a list. Like adding a Yakuza game into a top 100 list, like you had been just started gaming like last generation or so.
Yeah.
Well, as they explained in their thing, they got every single one of the
I feel like at least a Splinter Cell should have made it on that list.
Sorry, can you let him finish, please?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
As he said in it, the so-called experts, basically what they did to get this top 100 was they asked each one of them, what are their top 10 games? And each game listed got points. So number 1 got 10 points, and then all the way down, right? So all the 200 people that participated, they all gave their top 10.
That's it?
Yeah. And then they scored points depending on where their position is in the top 10, and then they added them up. So this list is literally just 200 people's top 10 scored by points. It's a bunch of garbage. So Yeah,
I'm about to say, yeah.
And depending on the demographics of those people, like if I polled 200 teenagers of what their top 10 games are, and then said, here's the top 100 games of all time, I think a lot of people would be angry because a whole lot of games would be missing off that list. Like you wouldn't see probably half the games that we saw up here, so far.
It
I don't
explains why
understand why
Fortnite
people
is.
would be angry. It's like, who cares? It's not an official list. It's like whatever. Like I
Well,
don't
if
understand.
people are
I
like
don't understand
really,
anger.
really angry, we're just
I mean, you sounded pretty
annoyed.
angry because you were calling them a bunch of names. You were calling them outside their names. But
They
I mean,
are
that's
you
kind of
were
just
calling them
I do
cats.
that all
They
the
are-
time. Ain't no big
Yeah.
deal.
They are amoebas, but yeah.
Yeah, they're single-celled organisms, man.
Yeah, I just don't think I don't care. Like, who cares what
They
I don't
barely
care what these people
classify
think.
as life.
Yeah, these when it comes to these when it comes to opinions about games and stuff, it's like whatever to me. Like they can believe whatever they want. So let's see here. Let me look at these guys. Robert
30,
Lead
man.
him. He looks very young. So let me open up his bio. He looks very, very young. If this is him.
Yeah, there's no Sonics on
Hold
this
on.
list. There's no Contra on this list. There's no.
I think if this is him.
Wow.
He looks maybe early
guy-
20s.
He look like
This
he
guy
just left
gets
puberty.
carded. This guy gets carded everywhere he goes.
Doesn't show his age.
It explains why Fortnite is on the list, though.
It does. Let's see here. He started working. Okay, he might just have a baby face. He started working. He started working in 2011. So
I think
actually he started working. Sorry, he started working. Yeah, he did start. He started working in 2009, and then he graduated college in 2011. But he went for his bachelor's degree in 2007, and then he did postgraduate degree in 2011. So he was okay in 2007. If he was 18 in 2007, how old would he be now?
What's that? 15 years ago? 16 years ago? So 32.
I'm not good at math. I'm if you guys.
He's too old to be this stupid.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's too old to be this stupid.
Okay, 18.
34.
2007. 18 2007. Okay, hold on. 34.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because 18 plus 16. Yeah, so he's 34, which means he is in my generation. And then the other guy whose name I just looked him up. Let's see if I can find him.
So they're experts. They're probably just like, hey, you play video games? Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say they're
Thank you.
experts.
Well,
You're my expert.
As they said, they chose from, right, check it out. These are the type of people they ask. Experts, right? Streamers, journalists, and developers.
How many people you say?
300. It wasn't 200. It was 300.
300? Okay, 300 people.
So what's the math?
If this is him, because Sam White is like a very general name. So
what?
But
if I were to do a list like this, they told me get 300 people, I would make sure that I got an even number of people from different demographics, age demographics, so that like I made sure that I covered all my bases and people who are more familiar with certain games of a time period where other people were far too young to ever even, realistically play those games and know the impact of those games and how those games really shaped the industry and created what, the potential for the games that people enjoy today. Well, how all that came to be. I would make sure. I think I don't want to completely dismiss the tadpoles out there. Like their opinion is valid, and they play games that a lot of older gamers don't play, and may not necessarily see the impact those games are having on the current market. Like Fortnite, for example, a lot of people still dismiss Fortnite, even though Fortnite is shaping the way the industry is going forward when it comes to live service games, which are far more prevalent than they used to be. All that said, like you got to have an even number of demographic of people all across the board to make sure that you're addressing every generation of gaming fairly.
Okay, well, here's my thing. I wouldn't even take this seriously because there's like millions of gamers, and billions even, and they just did like 200 people. So it's like
But wait,
whatever.
you know how we love checking people's credentials. We should
Mhm.
ask all 300 of them for their gamer tags, for their PSNs, for their Steams, and I want to see that you've beaten these games you are voting on.
Yeah,
See
I
if
think
you're
that's
even
fair.
qualified to have an
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Because I
To
guarantee you
even,
half
yeah,
of them ain't beat these
exactly.
games.
To even be considered in this thing, you would need to have to show your credentials in order to even be able to be considered to put your games in the list. Yeah, I see no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay. Anyway.
That's so that list is so stupid.
Because how does KOTOR?
It's
I
the worst
guarantee
list
you.
ever.
I'm just trying to do the math on it.
I guarantee you, only like 10 people played KOTOR out of those 300.
Well, that's what I
And
was gonna say. Even if
like-
if it was 300 people that voted, and even if you broke it right down the middle for every game that they voted on, that would be, if you voted on each game, one person voted on each game 3, that would make it even. So that means Knights of the Old Republic either got 0 votes to be numbered to be 100,
Or one person voted for it,
or one person voted for it out of the whole 300.
right?
Yeah, which again, 300 people is not even close to being an accurate representation of
Right.
game whole. So it's like what it seriously is whatever. Okay, so that's Brandon. Thank you, Jay Barry, who says, "Hey everyone, I pre-ordered the ROG Ally, and I'm excited for it to be my native Game Pass, my native Game Pass handheld. I can't wait to try. Starfield on it. I agree with Phil Spencer in that Xbox won't sell more consoles than PlayStation. I think having your games on PC day one hurts people's desire to buy consoles for Microsoft. We now have the Steam Deck and ROG Ally as alternatives to buying Xbox Series consoles. Do you think that if Starfield is a 90 plus Metacritic game, that it will help Xbox win NPD in September over Nintendo and PlayStation with Spider-Man 2? Spider-Man 2 is coming out in September?
It doesn't have a date.
Doesn't have a date. But the
It's
last
probably
one
not
was
coming out.
September.
It's being rumored that Spider-Man 2 will come out in September.
Okay. If Spider-Man 2 comes out in September, it's winning NPD. Like,
yes, it is.
You know, it's
Yes.
fucking Spider-Man, dude. So no. But also, what is your outlook in console sales for Xbox if they have Forza Motorsport in October, Hellblade 2 in November, Stalker 2 in December, and all 3 of those games are 90 plus Metacritics? Will they win any NPDs in these months?
I'm sure they will, yeah, because there's not that many big games, like earth-shattering games that will release in those months.
Okay, so October, Forza Motorsport 90 Metacritic, Hellblade 2. He said Hellblade 2 November.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then what was the last game?
Stalker 2.
Stalker 2 December.
Nope. Nah,
they're still not winning NPDs. I don't know
who's gonna win those NPDs? Sony and Nintendo, and probably gonna be Nintendo more than anybody.
Yeah.
It's just the wrong time of year. Like the only reason Xbox was winning NPDs last holiday is because of stock issues. Not saying they didn't have. I mean, they did have Halo that release, but you couldn't find a PlayStation 5 anywhere last holiday for the beginning parts of it, and that definitely contributed to the fact of it. And Nintendo started having stock issues towards the end of the year, but it's like it always comes back to if Nintendo has stock and PlayStation has stock, it's going to be hard for Xbox to kind of pass them up. Nintendo, because of the price point and it being Nintendo, and PlayStation just due to the fact that it's just such a sought after system because people are still getting caught up from not being able to buy it 2 years ago. And then I just don't think Xbox has enough Series X's out there because at this point, yeah, Series S is the leading platform, but at this point, everybody wants to buy an X. But they're not really giving people a reason to buy the X with the games that they're putting out. Hopefully, Starfield starts to trend in the right direction, but I don't think Xbox's numbers in system sales are going to change until after this holiday because I think this holiday is going to be kind of a hard push for them this year.
I misread the question. He meant actual, but I thought it meant in software sales. Would they win?
No, it's on Game Pass.
No, he's talking about hardware sales, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if Spider-Man doesn't release in September, Starfield may have a shot if it's good. But
Oh yeah, if it doesn't,
Yeah,
I
if
agree.
Spider-Man doesn't release in September, that's going to be your chance this year.
I think when it comes to hardware, they need to. These 3 games being 90 Metacritic games that are highly rated and actually deliver on the expectations would be a good start. But then you're really looking at needing 2024 to also keep that going. Like the games that they're going to release in 2024, which we'll probably know for certain or at least have a good idea of after their June showcase. Like those games come out, that's like Fable and Avowed, and they're also 90 Metacritic score games. Then you're going to start getting people thinking differently about the brand of Xbox and the quality of their first party titles, and then you can start seeing more people actually picking them up. So
I would say this:
2024.
I will say this: if these games all hit 90 Metacritic, they may not win NPD, but you will finally get an announcement of Game Pass probably pushing 35, 40 million if they do.
Yep.
Because if these hit 90 Metacritics, you'll see Game Pass jump through the roof.
I agree with that.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. And John the Don says that he rewatched the first Blade movie, and I was realizing that there isn't a Blade game, which seems like a really missed opportunity. Who would you choose to make a Blade game, and what style would it be? I personally think having a single-player story-driven game made by the Rockstar devs who made Max Payne 3 would be perfect. I'd want like Insomniac.
I would want Sucker Punch.
Ghost
of Tsushima.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Who would be really? I'm just thinking about combat because you want fluid. Sucker Punch is a good shout. I was thinking, depending on what type of combat, I was gonna say the Devil May Cry devs because their combat is really fluid and smooth.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't trust them with the story.
I was gonna say Deviation Games, but it's too soon.
I was gonna say, actually, Forte. That's good. I was gonna say Pixelopa. It just isn't in the cards.
People were calling me mean in the chat. How am I mean when Forte and Singer are here? Recommending studios that don't even exist anymore, barely hanging on. Oh my god, that's awful.
Hey man.
By the way, let me throw my choice of Sucker Punch in addition to potentially Lionhead Studios. They haven't made something in a long time. So,
oh, okay. So Gregor says,
Peter Molyneux back out of the fire.
Do you wish more character creation had height sliders, or do you just enjoy role playing as an individual of normal height? My height does not bother me. Again,
my height don't bother me either, but I always make my characters taller than I am.
All right, I think that's everybody. Thank you. Yeah, I don't.
Could you change the height on the Mass Effect?
That's a good suggestion. Blade X Slow Clap that did Sifu. I think they would do a very good Blade. Yeah, they could do that really well. My bad. Go ahead. Somebody was talking. Anybody that was talking?
But yeah, I also agree. Slow Clap. They could do a good one, so long as they got a budget. Give them a budget though.
Yeah. Yeah, they would have to change up the art style. Like Sifu's art style was good for the kind of game it is, but it's also very similar to their previous game. I forgot the name of it, but it's they're both very similar art styles. But like for Blade, you will want something with a higher visual fidelity. So we're looking at more pixels per character, a very different environments, and that I think they can still do their typical game design, and the way their combat is designed. Absolver, thank you. I think they can still do that, but it's like when you start adding in all these additional like elements and things, then it becomes a bit more complex for them, a bit more potentially problematic as far as making sure that frame rate remains high while also trying to get a certain kind of look to make it look and feel like Blade. It may end up being something that they will definitely have to grow as a studio, be bigger. A bigger studio to do this, but then we've seen in the past some studios struggle to go from AA to AAA. and that transition can be problematic sometimes too. So
okay, cool. All right, let's just go ahead and shout out my channel members and then go ahead and get on out of here. My back is starting to hurt quite a bit. Oh, snap. All right, Tube Studio. Okay. All right, so shout out to Iman, Lionel, Drav, Gregor, Cassie, Samurai Black, Spencer, Blue Mustang, Damien, Damon, Tevin, H Dog, Derek, Stankmaw, King Metrotron, Meat Puppet, Scroat, Phil, Mr. Dolo Gaming, DQ's Blizzards, John the Don, Smokes, Jarenza, Stardust, Outlaw, Risk It, Stone, Dexflex, Starbuck, Kenny, DC, Shogun, Mike, It's Me Baby, Big Daddy, Smitty, Long Game Larry, Plus on the Block, El Huito, Subnegro, Sir X-Man, Yobi, MJ, Jazzy, Erodimus, and Vandy, Dom, Sir Duck, Sycamore, Zion, Danelle, Brisky, Corey, Light Strife, Bari, RK, Pepitio, Nautical Jet, Brandon, Envy, Jarrell, Slomo, and Hannibal. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to all the super chat support. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to everyone who hung out in the chat. Had a great time with you guys. Let's go ahead and get these outros. Go ahead, Nautical.
Yo, great show as always. Been a while since I've been here with you, and I always miss it and stuff. So whenever I can get out of work early and come home and do it, it's great to be
Appreciate
here.
you, my boy.
I appreciate you, Queen. But for myself, Gaming Forte, YouTube and Twitter. Check us out, DPS Podcast next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. on my channel. Check it out on Slow-Mo's channel last week. This past Thursday was a great time. Had a lot of fun. Basically just beating them over the head with Tears of the Kingdom. It was a great time. But yeah, enjoy the games you're playing. Enjoy the games that aren't out yet, because we all know that people like to talk about games other than play them. But if you're one of those people, God bless you. But other than that, have a great week.
Okay, Slow.
Yo, I just want to say that
you love Nautical.
I understand. Well, yeah, that too. But I understand that my behavior today, being sick and tired and a little irritated, with being sick, may have rubbed some people the wrong way, and I absolutely do not apologize. I don't care. Feel bad, be hurt, whatever.
Okay.
Great show though. I had a great show. I had fun. And I hope you guys have fun too. And enjoy your weekend. Play some games for once, you frauds. And see you next time.
No, I got gamers in my chat, man. But yeah, go ahead, Singer.
Shout out to everyone coming through. Shout out to being over 40, being able to join us. It has been a while. You have been missed.
Thank you.
And yeah, it was a great show today.
Yeah, lots of fun.
You could catch me, playing my emulated games on PC and enjoying life. And you could find me everywhere. But bear in mind, if you've been sending me friend requests on Steam, please send me a message with it, because I've got multiple requests and I have no idea who you are, so I'm not accepting you. So please send a message, because otherwise no. And that's it.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Peace.